Corin's house. And Lord Corin is there, and you guys turn in all the gold. And how much gold did Victoria get out of that? Did you guys give Victoria gold?
Yeah, hold on. I have it somewhere.
Something about platinum, though.
You said like
Yeah.
7 platinum or something, but then it got redistributed.
Yeah. All right, so everyone should have gotten. There's 5 of us. Sigh. All right, Victoria, I'll give you 1 of my platinum.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
All right,
So
so I
how
have 1
much-
platinum.
So how much platinum did she get?
Only 2 of us would have gotten 2, so me and Victoria, and someone else got 1, and 2 others got 2.
Okay. And so we turned in the heads, and Gzane saw that his armor was missing, and his shields have been sold. That's what Lord Corin says. Most of anything of value is being consumed by Aghel. You know, so if Aghel or any of these minions swing by Lord Corin's estate, they're going to be like, where'd you get this armor at? You know, and how much are you going to sell it for? You know, with a strong incentive to sell it, you know, kind of thing. And what do you think about Lord Corin, Gzane?
He's definitely trying her patience right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just a slave.
Indeed. Not much I can do about that.
You've been magic.
We'll see what
there's
happens.
Something you could do about it.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
You have a brand, 2 types of brands. One marks the location of where you're supposed to be. As slaves are not supposed to travel like that far from their destination. And the second one is who owns you. The Iron Lynx owns you. You've been poorly equipped. Maybe it's because they don't want you well armed and armored, so you can't resist. Right?
Indeed.
You just wear like scraps and rags. You did have a sense of style at one time, but you've been brought low, much like many people in High Pass.
Indeed.
Anybody else want to?
Well,
you guys ended up going to the. You guys remember the shop's name?
I remember it was a porn name. What was it again?
Hold on, I got it. I got
Velvet.
it.
The Velvet Road or something, right?
It is the
Velvet-
Velvet Journey.
That's right,
Oh,
the Velvet Journey, and the
We know
woman
what kind of
there.
store that is, guys.
The woman there did have a. They peddle with flesh and as well as items. For the Lynx, there is no difference between, you know, property essentially. So dealing with this is not an unusual thing for them, and they have a movable rod there that Arendelle asked for. They have it in stock,
No,
but
that wasn't
you
me.
guys are too flat broke to get it.
I didn't ask for that, but there was one thing that I did want to see if I could trade in for something.
And that's where we kind of left off. We left the Velvet Journey. You guys were going to head to the Tanner's because the Tanner's wife is missing, and he's offering a reward or something like that. It's just maybe another side quest in the grand journey of the Nameless Ones. Did I miss anything, or does anybody want to add anything to what my little synopsis?
I just want to DM if I can just do a quick retcon.
Sure.
Could have, instead of going to the magic shop, could Victoria have gone out to look for the information that I messaged you about a couple days ago?
Oh boy.
We don't. It's okay. We don't have to talk about like what if she found out anything, but she can be coming back at this point. Kind of explain where she's been. Because then she was with. Because she
What do
definitely
you
would
want
have
to
gone.
find out, Victoria?
She wants to find out what happened to the people of High Pass. The noble family is a ruling class. There was a comment about seeing the bodies that Karma was cutting down, that a lot of the people that resisted were strung up on those walls. She basically wants to see if there's anyone that she knows that's still alive. Not trying to expose herself or, you know, make it obvious that she's returning, but just to see as casually as she can if there's anyone that's still alive that she knows.
Make an investigation roll. You roll very low, it's bad.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
gosh. Good way to
I'll,
start.
Yeah,
It's a
I'll be
fine
joining
very
Karma.
low.
If you roll well, it's something you find out some things.
All right, investigation.
Yeah.
Or do I have to declare my D of inspiration before or after I roll?
You can use your inspiration now. You have to declare it before you make the roll.
I'm gonna use it now.
Roll with advantage.
Oh, I saw Karma's last roll and I thought that was yours. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, it wouldn't let me roll.
17.
Advantage. Yeah, let me do one more just for the
Not bad.
advantage. 15, 17.
The people on the walls are used by the force of darkness. You fled long ago before you were able to be captured like your brother was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your brother, you find out information about your brother. He was killed by Aghel. In the initial invasion, your brother bravely fled near the steps of the Citadel before he fled inside, and Aghel and the Force of Darkness descended on it. You find out, though, that recently the Voice of the Darkness has gone quieter, and there's been... I'm trying to think here. The Voice of the Darkness has gone quieter, and Aghel has not left the Citadel in some time. No one has seen Aghel for some time, so Commander Dench mostly handles all the day-to-day operation. You know about the Great Crystal in High Pass. What's the crystal's name? It's the size of a boulder, probably. What would the crystal's names be? Victoria.
Are you asking? You're
Yeah.
asking if I know
I'm
what it is,
asking
or
you.
am I naming it?
You're naming it.
Let me get back to you.
Okay, I call it the High Pass Crystal for right now, but if you want to rename it, you can rename it to something else.
Okay.
You know it's a powerful waystone, and it sits in the Citadel. It acts as a focus of magic and was one of the main reason... This is stuff that you found out in your investigation roll.
Mhm.
And it focuses magic, but the archmages at the time used it to focus the magic of High Pass. And that's why a part of High Pass exists as it today, as it was once a center of great magic. As you don't go to the magic shop and you're looking around, though, the Grand Library has been turned to rubble. It's been totally razed. The rubble stands as a monument to those who defy the darkness. This is not unusual, as Arendelle, we spoke about it last game, that when the elves were first attacked by the darkness, their great libraries were destroyed, and that's why so much knowledge and great magic has been lost over the past few decades.
And then, do I get any information about the family that lived in Corden's house?
She was a good friend of yours, back when you used to play,
Or
before
any
you
of
fled.
still alive? What do I know?
They're missing. They haven't been seen in a long time. Was she a good friend of yours back when you were a child?
Yeah, he was. He was like her, Victoria's, or she, whichever. Probably their best friend. And their family built this library. They were the main scribes and documenters of history, and they would transcribe all the books just to make as many copies as could be made, because back then no printing presses. At least that was the family that lived in this house that now Victoria just saw as filled with chains, where it used to be filled with ink and paper.
Carapitus used to be like a tutor, one of the archmages of the School of Yellow, of conjuration, before he went mad during the Great War.
Who did?
You can make another investigation roll if you want to find out more about your tutor.
My tutor.
This was his name.
16.
You heard he went crazy, and then he fled southwest into the mountains. He hasn't been seen in a long time. He fled when the great libraries were destroyed.
Okay.
Anything else you want to ask about?
No, I think that's all the information I could find before I go back to try to find everybody else. I don't want to spend too much time by myself.
Okay, sure. Does anybody else want to add anything before we start?
I do. I
Sure,
want
bud.
to have a little something while these guys are in the magic shop and they've been selling, because I don't have any money. What am I meant to do in the meantime? So I just want to put in a little scene before we start.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Okay. Hold on. Gzane will take out her pendant from her neck and peer at it and back at the group. And she opens up. Haven't I done enough? Haven't I been loyal to you for so long? Nearly dying for you on numerous occasions. Is this how you treat me, your champion? I will tell you what's enough. I have had enough. Everyone, I will be going to the blacksmith. You do not have to come. It is a personal endeavor.
I'll compliment Gzane.
Oh, you're already back?
I don't know, Never
Yeah, of
mind.
course.
Okay, fine. Oh, hi, hello.
I don't know where I'm at.
Of course you're back. That's what high pass
Now-
sounds like. It is right now.
If I may be
noon.
excused, and I turn around and start to leave.
Very well. Be sure not to run off.
Just stay out of trouble. Yeah, I've tried to stop you 100 times, but I'm not stopping you anymore.
Gzane, you don't want to go to the tanners and get your skin tanned?
Nah.
Okay.
I just offer. I ask him if Gzane, would you like me to take your skin to the
Oh.
tanners for you?
You can keep it if you want. It doesn't matter to me. I can't keep it after all.
Well, if maybe after you get it. What's the word?
Tanned.
Tanned?
Worked on by a letter worker.
Yeah. Maybe he'll let you keep it because it won't be raw flesh anymore.
I mean, whatever you decide to do with it is fine. I'm not going to be able to keep it.
Could make it into a blanket and lace it in poison.
Make a sack out of it. I think that would be fine.
Well,
Or backpack.
Some sort of
Actually, that's not a
warm-
bad idea. And I hand you over the skins. If you would, please. Now then, I'll be off. We'll see you at the docks.
Gzane just
Alright then.
randomly kind of takes off. Does he hand the
Uh,
skin over to Venna, though?
He did.
It's like a big clump of, like, fish skin, you know? It's like, you know, it's just kind of like... It's been gutted and skinned out from the other side, right? Not
She
like a-
immediately regrets her friendship.
I give you fish.
It's got to be pretty good, though. It's a giant fish skin, so I guess it could be turned into something. Like what Gzane was saying is true, like a cloak, like something leathery, you know? It could even be turned into a jacket or something like that.
Something warm.
Yeah, whatever, you know? And it's cold out, so yeah, it probably could be pretty awesome, Benna. Where do you guys go? Where does the rest of the party go while Gzane goes off to see a blacksmith?
There's actually one more thing I like to do in the shop before we head out.
Okay, so we go back into the velvet place? The velvet journey?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll walk up to the lady at the counter and, Madam, there's one more thing that I request we perform perhaps a transaction with. I'll say as I fish around in my satchel and pull out a smaller bag that has a bit of an iron clanging noise in it. And as I put it down, she looks inside. It's the slave collars and the brand. How
Thank you.
much?
Well, this is our property, isn't it?
Perhaps, but I did go through the trouble of finding it and retrieving it for you. Should there not be some form of reward?
She starts counting the collars out, plus the branding thing there. She says, interesting. Where did you recover this?
On a shipwreck off the east of a lighthouse. Forget the name of the lake that we were on.
Sounds difficult. How
It
does
was.
one
Our
gold...
ship was half destroyed.
How does 1 gold per collar sound?
Fair enough.
And 3 gold for the brander?
If that is all you can afford. Very well.
Okay, so how many collars do you give her?
I give her 12 collars and 1 brander. So that's 15 gold.
Yeah. The Lynx are very wealthy. The slavery here has made them very wealthy, and she says, the Genie King is asking for many slaves. If you'd like to put these collars on a slave that you find, or that, we will pay 200 gold pieces a head. He requires his pyramids to be built in Husad.
Something to keep note of. Thank you very much for the information. Have a good day, man.
Take care.
I'll head out with the rest of the party.
We go back into the streets. Victoria, do you want to say anything?
I think if she was able to hear, I think Victoria would go with Gzane.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, Gzane.
Sure.
All right.
I'm fine, though.
It's not as though we have anything else planned. Cough, cough.
I'm sure you're fine, Gzane. But you know, the streets are dangerous. It's always nice to have company and a friend.
Do I look like I'm in danger?
Not from other people.
Exactly.
But I won't push it. If you wish to go alone, then very well. But I'm already uneasy that Karma went off on whatever expedition that she did earlier.
Well, I suppose I could... I don't know how long this will take. It will probably bore you. It's more about that.
You would also be a slave wandering alone in the streets.
So what?
So
There are
you could
numerous
get in a lot of
slaves here.
trouble.
True.
And once they learn of my master's name, they will leave me alone.
See that powerful?
He's a notable individual. Did you see his house?
I did.
I was in it.
You
Indeed.
must have blinked.
That's his...
One of the biggest in the city, I will have you know.
Really?
That's it?
No, and we left before dinner.
What, are you hungry?
So that's what qualifies as a large house here. Let's see.
I have my rations.
I could eat.
You could go by the local bakery. They have some nice treats once in a while. You tried pumpkin pie?
A basic pastry, but one that's not to be looked down upon.
Fair enough.
Victoria and Gzane separate from the party, and Venna, Arundel, and Karma go to Tanner's, correct?
Yeah, we should just go there first, right?
Or are we all sticking together and going to the blacksmith with Gzane? Karma?
Arundel, what say you?
I say we get our business done and over with so we can get out of this wretched hive city.
Perhaps we should all stay together then.
I
That's
agree.
what you
If we're
wish.
sticking together, I'm passing this fish back to Gzane.
Yeah. Yes, that is quite unsanitary.
I would like to swing by a textile shop if I could. I need a change in attire. But other than
I could
that,
use some good cards.
nothing on my plate.
Is it time to do any shopping that we might have? Who knows what lies ahead? Might as well.
All fair points. Onwards, Gzane. You know where this blacksmith is.
That I do.
What's the name of the blacksmith, Gzane?
Let's call it the Golden Horseshoe.
Okay.
Okay. What do
It's
I
a golden. It's a golden horseshoe, but the sign outside is actually a silver horseshoe.
That's what I pictured. That's so funny that you said that.
see? We can't afford gold here, master.
You hear like the
right.
banging of an anvil in there. Right below the golden horseshoe. I guess it's made of silver though. The name says golden horseshoe, but it's got a silver horseshoe on it, right? But you see the symbol of the iron links there. Like
Okay.
a maker's mark, almost.
Yep.
You know? You go inside. What do you want?
I'll try and look for one of the interns maybe, or like lower workers, something that's not working directly at the anvil, who's busy.
Sure. You come up to them and they're banging away. You see them sizzling, the hot steel into the cool thing, and they wipe off their brow and sweat comes off of it, and they look at you and they say, "Yes."
You there? Are you booked for the evening?
I'm busy forging all these weapons for King Aghel.
Do you have 30 minutes? I need something done.
What?
What?
Your master needs something?
Yes. Let's go with that. And I step up to the little guy, like tower
Sure.
over him.
Yeah.
And I say, "Here is a silver pendant," and I hand it over. I'd like it to be remade into wings.
Wings?
Rings, yeah.
Rings?
Yeah,
You need silver rings?
indeed. Just one will be enough.
From this?
Indeed. It's like the head of Tiamat, like the holy symbol.
So you're giving up your holy symbol of Tiamat to get made into some rings of some kind?
Do I see this happen?
No.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
shit.
we're all together with the group about this.
I'll make an internal note.
I could probably have something by tomorrow.
I'll make a physical note.
Tomorrow? That's
Yeah.
fine. When we'll start?
I'll swing by tomorrow, let's say around noon.
I have to be
Fine.
another day. Wonderful.
You can keep the axes. I don't need the extra silver.
All right. Do you want anything else? Or should they just be plain?
That is just it.
Okay. They take it and they're going to start working on it. So come back by tomorrow and they'll have these rings for you.
Okay. Here I thought I had to get angry. That's good. I'm done
that was
here.
it.
Are we gonna move
No.
on?
That was it. Well,
As we're
come on, I believe you mentioned something of a textile shop, correct?
Yeah.
What?
Textile.
as we're heading over there, like Victoria's is gonna fall in a step with Gzane. Gzane, how many lords are part of this Iron Link? Your master's one of many?
I'd assume there's about 10. I haven't seen all of them, but I do know a common group he hangs around.
What was that?
I don't know how many, but there's a group he always hangs out with, going drinking and such.
Really?
Oh, I met a couple of them at the ball last month.
Of course, they all gather for a ball. Wouldn't expect anything less.
Indeed, it was a boring evening. Nobody asked me out.
Ball and chain, perhaps. Ayo!
What's the shame, Gzane? Is the name of your master seems to strike fear?
He's only powerful by name. He's loyal to You know who.
Hmm.
Unswaying loyalty. And I look down at my feet.
And how do you feel about him?
Honestly, I want to break his nose, but I cannot.
Would you
That's
cry
all
for
you
him?
should do.
Would you cry for him if he were to perish?
Oh, definitely not. I would hang him on my wall. Let everyone know that they don't mess with me like that. Taking
then
my
what would
belongings.
then
I'm
what-
nothing.
That's-
What happened to you and all those that are collared to him?
To what?
What would happen to you and all the others in that house that are collared to him if he were to disappear?
They'd probably be sold off to another master somewhere. Maybe at a lower price. I'd assume I don't know as much. The financial system is beyond me here in the city.
Me as well. This whole slavery thing is quite new.
Each slave is like 500 gold pieces for an adult. And I'd reckon if they were children, as I saw in that house, probably 200, 250.
Are you looking to
Yeah.
sell?
You seem to know a lot about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Says the guy with all the enslavement collars under his belt.
Oh, actually, I recently sold those.
Oh, you did?
What was that?
Yes.
I hope the pay was good.
15 gold.
Because what you've just done is make another person's life miserable.
True, but I got 15 gold. So,
Surprised
Is that
you
what's
wanted-
worth a life to you? 15 gold?
it's what's worth the here and now, not the improbable and or probable future. What happens to others is of no concern to me if I do not know them.
I'm surprised you wanted to burn the house down with all the slaves in it when you could have just sold them.
You wanted to what?
The little man makes me angry. That's all.
Nothing. Just kidding, Karma.
So are we gonna take the boat today, or are we gonna hang out in the city for the evening?
I think we should wait for the evening. We need your rings anyway.
Hmm.
And there's no point for us arriving just today to simply turn around and set out in the dock.
Honestly, I feel rebellious. You guys wanna have me use another weapon than just a knife?
I'm curious where you're going with this, sure.
Was that a
You go
serious
back to the
question?
blacksmith. Maybe he has some wares to sell. I'd like a shield again. It's been a while since I carried something heavy. I want something familiar.
That's cool, no? I'm pretty sure I'm wanted for political fraud. So,
What?
catch
You
up with you
what?
guys in a minute. Long story. Catch up with you all in a moment.
What
Carlo,
point
you were
in
gone
my-
for 15 minutes!
what
I'm
point
very
have-
effective.
What point in my life have I reached where that was not a weird state?
Karma's gonna slip away and just like slip through the crowd. It's just like
And she's gone.
You guys are kind of like in the town square area. Karma slips off. You want to make a stealth roll, Karma, or you just want to just go?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid detection, just trying to find the textile shop.
We know
It
where
would
she's
be
going.
really funny if, like, we all just she thinks she's sneaking and we're just
Yeah.
like, there
Yeah,
she goes.
exactly.
He's the
right
only
there.
one dressed in black and a
That is a dirty 20.
So you guys
Karma's
all
sneaking
just-
around. Karma's
Everyone-
sneaking around. I'm just walking there.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys, if you want to spot Karma leaving, you can roll a perception roll to counter her roll of 20, right?
That would be kind of funny.
Do you want to see
Nah.
where she's going, Vanna?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it.
Okay, roll it up. Karma,
4
you
hours.
like you're in like the town square area, so you go to this clothing shop. It's called Espresso Yourself.
Yeah.
Is there a shopkeeper that looks like he's keeping a watchful eye on the place?
Yes, there is. Come on in.
Was I heading here? I was heading here too, but was I directly behind her? Or...
You have to.
She's just
She
gone.
tried to slip off into the crowd, so you got to roll a perception roll to keep up with her.
I didn't see
Ma'am,
anything.
this is a subway.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is a subway.
I'll just show up a little bit later. I'm fine with that.
I'm just gonna grab the first things on the rack that I see. It's a red conglomerate of items.
Okay, sure. Roll a d20. That's how much silver it costs. These are just random stuff, like kind of quickly. Ooh, aren't you a mysterious one?
3.
So 3 silver. This is a nice little selection you have here.
I'm gonna toss him the money.
3 silver.
Yep.
I couldn't
I
tell
can-
if it matches your eyes, though.
I can find it in my equipment. I don't use gold much, Arendelle. Where is it stored in the character sheet?
It's under your inventory. Tab, right?
It's above your inventory. It's right there with the pretty little.
I toss him a
shapes.
platinum, and then I run out.
He's like, you didn't pay me this is only 1 silver. And he looks at it as you talk. Oh, never mind. This is up, Mrs. As you just run out.
I'm gone.
Yeah. You have like this new, you've like fashionably put on this new wardrobe though that you want. What does it look like, Karma?
Yeah, it just, it looks kind of how I do. It's just, karma, but red.
Not as so morbid, like you just came back from a funeral.
Yeah, it's a very poor attempt of disguising yourself. It's just to not
For
stick
sure.
out as much.
For
And
sure,
it's probably the second worst thing than the scourge of undeath on this world is color for karma. So
The true
We
gospel
just look
answer.
out. We just look out into the crowd and we see that coming towards us. Like, what the hell?
Right?
So you guys see Karma coming back, and you can barely recognize her, but, as she wears this red outfit, it's kind of offsetting, though, but you look around, like, the rest of the crowd is, like, it doesn't wear, like, this type of even... It's more fancier clothing, Karma. Made up from silk, probably from Husad.
Okay,
it's still
that's
not
better.
like it's not like commoner's clothing. It's probably nicer than a commoner's clothing, right? So Karma
probably
still
like-
kind of sticks out a little bit.
You look lovely.
thank you.
What are you wearing?
I don't know color.
My eyes are bleeding.
I think it's fabulous.
Thank you.
Well, at least when she does, we won't know.
And could it be a benefit, actually? Never show
No.
weakness.
Sure. Why not?
Is this a new trend? Is this a new fashion?
Definitely.
I'm trying to avoid detection from the government here.
But you
You look
dress
like-
in the most reddish cover you can see.
You look like a bleeding peacock.
I do. I wanted to look completely different than I normally do.
Did you roll on that one on your deception checks?
No, no. I think
What
I'm
in name
great.
Babylon are you spouting?
I think Karma has the right idea. I like the idea of wearing red, so that way they can't tell if we're bleeding. Maybe we should get Eridel some socks next time he tries to go swimming.
I beg your pardon. Wet socks are absolute torture.
I don't think they make brown socks.
I don't understand. Brown doesn't match my skin coat.
One day.
I have quite literally eternity, so hopefully that day comes quite soon.
Mm.
Now, are we done here? Is there anything else that we need to do? Any more shopping rounds?
I think we're waiting until tomorrow to leave, so I guess we have some time to kill.
Well, since we're staying here, can we go
library.
do the Tanner shop?
A
and-
library.
That's what I asked, yes. A scriptorium, arcanum, anything. Anywhere I can sit in silence, study.
Fortunately not.
Well, we could all split up. We should only just be down by the boat in like a day. So when are we gonna be there?
think we can leave after we pick up your ring.
Yes, but I don't know how long that will be. Should we try noon?
They said noon tomorrow, so yes.
And
We
so
need
it
to find a
is.
place to sleep. Ugh.
Well, you can sleep at the library, I assume.
So there is a library.
Of course. Do you know how big the city is? They have everything.
So there's a tavern.
Oh, there are
Sure.
plenty of taverns.
Speaking my language.
We passed one there. Heat was there.
Could we not sleep in a brothel for once? I prefer an actual inn. You know, with bed fittings and pillows.
You don't fancy the
And-
brothels?
No.
Wow, that's not surprising.
I hear he frequents bathhouses, actually.
You know, the more you mention it, the more I'm curious about your sex life.
Well, your curiosity shall lead to your downfall, as it did the cat. And that one quaint tale you humans came up with.
Right when Gzane said that, like, Venna wasn't even paying attention to them talking, and then she went,
Oh yes, us humans coming up with such idioms.
Venna, you smell
Yes.
that on you? It's like you, as karma kind of comes, you feel like karma's fashion, stuff like that, but you tried to get, does Gzane take the big clump of shark
I
meat
handed
back?
it to him.
So you're starting to stink now a little bit, Gzane, right? Because
Okay.
you're carrying around rotting flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
You do something with that already. I'm getting
So,
angry.
you don't want this anyway.
Why do we?
Well, we're not going to Tanner, so I don't need to hold it.
Fine.
Just sell it or something.
Well, yeah, but in this state, no, the town is the only thing. And if they don't want it, it's worthless.
Do you want it?
Well, I thought a backpack would be nice.
Then why don't you go make a backpack?
I might as
That
well.
That
Will you join
requires
me?
skilled crafts.
I
You
assume
look
I have
at-
coin
you
enough.
look at Gzane as he's trying to like build some muster to like get any items or, you know, just not look so lowly, you know. She's like in rags though, really. You know, like dirty rags.
Well, furs, mostly.
Yeah, so it stinks.
Why don't we get that tanned? And remember, Gzane, if there's anything that you want to keep, I have this backpack. You put your stuff in here, and Bastard doesn't take it because it's mine. But then it's yours when we're not around him.
Let's just say you own everything. It is
Alright.
yours to do with as you please, but thank you for allowing me to use it.
You're welcome to borrow this bag and what's inside of it anytime that you wish.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
pull Venna away from the group.
Okay, you grab Venna by the arm and want to whisper something to her.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how much it is to buy Gzane's freedom.
Yeah, we slightly talked about this recently, but we didn't really talk about it. Do you think we could buy it from his master?
We
From his
could.
master?
Or we could slaughter his master.
That would be easier. But then would
Mhm.
people be after us?
Well, what if we made it look like an accident?
Suicide.
Suicide.
Sure there's some sort of something to slip into his meal?
Adon's will is Adon's will. So,
Right. You tell me what to get and where to go.
perhaps once Gzane falls asleep, we should pay him a visit.
I don't
Oh,
need
so
to-
we're okay with staging suicide, but we're not okay with burning down a house full of innocents. I see.
You're not
Yes,
here,
then
wizard.
one.
You're not here,
Okay.
wizard.
You can't hear us.
I know.
And those were innocent people.
Innocent schminnocent.
Yes, nudge me when he's asleep. When she's
Cool.
asleep. And we'll plan.
Of course.
Everybody sees Venna do this and never seen her really get like evil.
So the Twitch. Are you alright?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just talking about this new
Yeah.
look.
Yes, there's
Fashion.
much to talk about in heart. I'm trying out sarcasm. Did that work?
No,
Mm.
voice was the same.
So close.
What are you guys doing over there?
I think making
Fashion.
fun of Arendelle again.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful.
Giggle and point.
I do so enjoy being tormented by my lessers.
Zatanna.
Just wanted to know how much got their outfit for. That's all.
Well, should we find a place to stay for the evening?
I like that.
Sure.
Yes.
But you don't like inns, so
Inns are what I prefer. Taverns are hell.
you don't like an inn and tavern at the same time. That is your problem.
You are aware of the difference of an inn and a tavern, correct?
Yeah. One thing you can buy stuff, drinks in, and the other one you can sleep in. Why can't you
Yes.
do both?
Why would we want to do but what?
One to drink in. That's my favorite.
One to sleep in.
What if we went to a tavern, drank so much that we ended up sleeping in the drink in inn?
What
I feel like I'm in the
language
middle
is
of a riddle.
that? Are you having a stroke now?
She's quirky.
Oh. Oh.
But Tana,
Unless you guys want to buy a new place, let's try and move around.
I don't know if they. Do you want to go to the Tanners tonight or no?
We probably should before that thing literally becomes a rotting piece of flesh. Instead of just something that's been out in the sun.
I haven't been to the Tanners before, but I assume it's closer to this than an inn would be.
Then lead the way.
Let's go.
Victoria, may I take your ear?
of course.
You're being
I'm
very
gonna-
secretive today, aren't you?
I just need to catch up with my girls, okay?
Let her connive.
They're girls.
Just lead the way.
I cross my arms.
I'm a girl too.
and
You-
just stare at her.
You smell like fish. Okay, I
Mhm.
didn't want to say anything, but you smell like fish.
Okay, that's fair. And I can just unfurl.
An accurate statement.
Makes sense.
Victoria, no, I'm gonna like pull her back so no one can hear us.
Yes, Karma.
We're gonna inquire about Gzane's freedom later. Do you want in?
I do. That has been on my mind quite a lot ever since we had the misfortune of meeting her so-called master.
I did not get the pleasure. We are going to go on peaceful terms. I feel at first, but I'm taking the wild card, Vena, with us, so who knows how it's going to turn out.
To do what?
Get our friend's freedom.
You plan to harm her
I
master?
don't plan anything. Whatever happens, happens. I wish to go in peace.
I am very much interested in going in peace and seeing what happens. Just tell me, do you plan to make peace through the front door?
Whichever door's open, or easiest to open.
Preferably a window.
Do I know any other ways into the house?
Interesting question. I mean, there's ways to break in by stealth, if that's what you mean. But like secret passageways, things like that, I'd probably say no.
Okay. Well, I'm very much interested in whatever it is you're planning to do.
Do you think we should take Arendelle? Or see liability?
I'd rather keep the body count, or I'm sorry, this negotiation down to 1.
Yeah, he's kind of fragile.
I don't know if Arendelle sells that sentiment. The problem that I have with our peace talk is what's going to happen after.
Well, we make it look like an accident. I mean, if, a peaceful accident.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe Arendelle was right. Maybe there is a fire.
I'm not sure if the
And
people that
Karma's gonna show a flask of oil.
I'm not sure if the people that are still bound to him, they won't be able to leave after. They'll still be bound to this guild.
I'll make sure. Oh, you mean by moral code or whatever, not physical bounds.
But also, he had a rod, didn't he?
Oh no, I wasn't there. I was dealing with my own issues.
That's right. He had a rod that made Gzane stop. I wonder if we can find that. Maybe we can do something with that.
I'm sure once negotiations happen, we'll have the run of the place.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't see this going wrong at all.
Oh, no.
1 hour later.
Just letting you guys do your own thing. As you guys are going through the back streets of High Pass, you guys finally make your way to the tanner. There appears to be a crowd, though, gathering off to the right. Or you guys want to go there, or something that seems to be happening, a commotion of some kind?
There's one.
Gzane, you're leading the way, right? I guess, I'll go where I'll follow you.
Smells like plot.
Please don't waste our time.
Karma's just.
I don't know if it's a waste of time.
Let's go see. What's the worst
I'm outnumbered. Go on then.
Vena's kind of aloof. She wants to squirrel,
Okay. I started looking for one that works here and just push, wave them over.
As you guys walk up to see what's going on, there's a gnome looking for challengers. Step right up. My training dummy here, the latest and famous gadget I brought from Nomergon, can beat anyone. I dare any one of you to try it out. And a couple orcs and an orc and a hobgoblin are nearby. They're just laughing a little bit at this incident, and a crowd has sort of gathered to see what's going on. Any takers?
Karma nudges Arendelle.
What?
Go on, go up there.
You jest.
Karma, that's
Oh
you.
god, you're not jesting.
Prove your
Fight one of
superiority.
Pog's famous training
Karma.
dummies.
Can I try to figure out what this training dummy is?
It looks like a golem of some kind. It's padded extensively. It has a dagger and a rapier on it. And there's 3 of them there. He's trying to sell them or show them. I have to show these guys that these work. Please, help me out.
Isn't it for us?
I'm gonna walk forward.
Well, are you a challenger?
A buyer, how much?
Well, it's not to be sold to you. It's supposed to be. I'm trying to sell it to those guys over there. He points over to the orc and the hobgoblin, right? This guy's kind of like a funny-looking gnome. He's his name is Pog.
What did you just say?
Aww.
The mighty Pog.
Bro got pogged on, bro.
Alright.
Fuck Darnell. Is my name, good sir?
I just glance over towards the orc and hobgoblin, and I just look back at him. How much are they paying?
I'm trying to prove that they work. Will you help me out?
Are you asking me to lose fight intentionally?
Yeah.
You want me to make a show of it or make myself look like a fool?
Yeah.
That was a A or B, not a yes or no.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't a... Alright. How many am I supposed to fight?
Just the one.
Just one? Alright. I don't have to pay for it if I destroy it, correct?
That's right.
Alright then. How big of an area is it that he plans on having us fight?
You want me to load the battle map up?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Here we go. Small little crowd of people have gathered here. And this is kind of what it looks like, so I have to put your models out.
Don't lose, Arendelle. This will be embarrassing.
I mean, it wouldn't be too embarrassing. I would be fighting a magical construct, so... Not the worst thing. What the fuck is that? Is that a flesh golem? What the shit?
It's what you signed up for.
It's padded
I
up.
wasn't prepared for this.
One of the orcs
All right.
goes up to Victoria as she's like starting to take notice. What do you think, princess? I think flesh always beats out these stupid little dummies.
I think we'll just have to watch and see.
Yes, we will. Arendelle, do you come closer? Here's the gnome tinker, Pog, right here. So you're kind of staying in front of him, talking to him like this.
Oh, right.
So, do you want to fight him?
Before I agree to anything, is this going to be a fight till one of us drops, or one hit, whoever hits first?
I just need to wind him up right back here. Just give me a second. He starts just like winding some gears on the back of him. You're just like cranking of gears. He's like, are you ready?
That was a concerning lack of information. Fine.
Well, here it goes.
I'm gonna walk over here.
Like walk over there a little bit. All right, and then we'll
Give myself some distance.
yeah, we'll roll initiative.
Gonna look over to the girls and just be like, "Is this the nicest thing Arendelle has ever done?"
I think so.
Oh no, I rolled a 7 on my initiative. Whatever will I do?
Let me add you guys to the initiative count here. Here we go. Who am I missing? Carmen, do I have you here or no? I do, don't I?
Here.
Who am I missing? Gzane? I got Gzane, Benna, Arendelle, and Victoria.
I was just bouncing up and down.
Need to add Victoria there. Everybody rolls initiative. I roll an 8.
He beat me by
The goal.
1.
Sorry, I'm looking.
I rolled a
Karma.
3.
Karma rolls a natural 1.
Where's
Rather now than later.
initiative?
It's on the top right hand of your character sheet.
Alright, so how much
I'm being very
distance?
blind. Oh, I okay.
Are we rolling
30
initiative
feet.
or is it auto?
Everybody's
Perfect.
rolling initiative.
Oh, my bad.
Alright. So good nail 1.
Everybody's rolling.
So
like
that's how I did
shit.
the call. Alright.
Karma, Vanna rolls a 3 as well. You guys are just rolling like shiznit.
That is terrible.
Actually,
We're fighting?
yes. You see, and you see like the sparks begin to fly off the back of it. Oh boy, the guy says, and he charges at Arendelle. And it says, "This ought to be good," the orc says, and it attacks you with a dagger and a rapier attack. What's your AC?
12.
Okay, so I roll a dirty 20, and it tries to do non-lethal damage. 7 non-lethal damage.
Ow.
And then it hits you with a 13 for 8. Oh no! He
Shield.
says. You cast shield on
Shield.
the second one?
Yep.
And you see the golem is just kind of going crazy and attacking you. It's like spinning around. What do you do, Arundel?
I'm going to magic missile at 2nd level.
Okay, roll it up.
So that's 4d4 plus 4 force damage. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You release the magic missile from your hand.
Ooh, that's good damage. That's 16 force damage.
Nice. $16 force damage. The sparks fly against it. As the trained golem is racked backwards a little bit, Gzane is up. As you see Arundel get into a little bit of trouble as this training golem starts to go wild on him.
We fighting?
Are you?
Should I help? No. You do
Venice.
you. I don't want any trouble.
Ben is up.
I'm ending my turn.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I don't have to fight him? They're not
You don't have
attacking
to.
us.
It's attacking Arundel for now.
Oh no. Well, I'm going to magic missile him. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna go try and help Arundel. He was nice now.
Roll your magic missile damage, right? It automatically hits the golem.
Please.
You just roll 1. You have to roll, I think, 3d4 plus 1.
3d4 plus 3. Each one does a plus 1.
Oh, I don't just click the square thing?
Yep, click it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then click it one more last time.
Okay.
Those are
Sorry,
creates
it
3
takes
projectiles, and you can shoot those projectiles at any target that you want, right?
Okay.
The other 2 golems back here look kind of like inactive or whatever. You know, like he hasn't wound them up or whatever.
Come on, baby.
So -3, another one. The golem is wounded.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage
Another 4.
plus 12.
Another 4. Okay, Victoria's up, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Pog. How does
Okay.
he?
Oh, I have to go
reacting?
back for a second. Every time someone casts magic and high pass, because of the focus crystal here, you have to roll a d20. If you roll a natural 1, I roll on the wild magic chart.
Oh shit.
So Arundel needs to roll a d20.
Sure. Not a 1.
Venna, when Venna casts her magic, she has to roll a d20. If she rolls a 1 or a 2, because she's in tune with wild magic powers, a wild magic effect goes
Why did
off.
you think about that?
Orcs begin to laugh a little bit. Look at the magic.
My God. Oh my God.
Nice
What'd you roll?
Skyrim trap.
It was.
Victoria's up.
I'm looking over at Pog. How is he reacting to his golem? Does he seem like, oh shit, this thing's going wild, or is he?
He
how's
looks a little
reacting?
worried. Yeah, he's looking like he's like, oh boy. He's like, this is going better than expected. Yeah.
Okay, but he's not like freaking out that, oh no, this is actually gonna kill this guy, or like.
Unknown.
Okay. No, I'm gonna hold. I'm just gonna keep my eye on the.
Hold! Karma's
Yeah,
up.
I mean, this is what he signed up for.
Karma's gonna toll the dead on it.
You will stand your ground!
I roll, this golem, whenever it gets magic cast onto it with the saving throw, it gets advantage of the save. I think I fail with a 12, Karma.
Yep.
Roll damage to D12.
Yeah.
Necrotic damage.
Oh, it's D12. I rolled the D8.
The toll goes off behind the
just take
golem.
the 8.
Some of its bolts and everything like that stitched together.
Take
Minus
10
pretty good. It's almost bloodied. The golem's up still. It attacks Arundel twice. The shield is still up. Oh, I'm sorry, his shield is now down because it ends at the start of his turn.
Alright.
16 to hit you
Shield.
with the dagger. Cast shield again. It bounces off. I roll a 22 on the second one, so that's a hit with the rapier.
Yep.
This is for 9 piercing of non-lethal damage.
Alright.
Arendelle's up.
Pain is what Arendelle is feeling right now.
As you get stabbed right
he-
in the knee.
Yeah. Upcast magic missile again, since that seemed to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
4d4 plus 4. Not as good as last time, but...
See how Arendelle's rolling it, Venna? He rolls it 44, and then he adds +1 for every time, so he doesn't have to keep clicking that 3 times.
Oh,
So it goes to the bottom
13.
left and selects it. Yep. Minus 13.
Yep.
Gzane is up.
Arendelle is very in pain, and that translates to at 1 HP.
Okay.
Okay, stop. It's okay. Pog says, and the robot doesn't seem to respond.
Okay. I just walk up beside Arendelle and like passes him. You're doing good. And I just tap him a little bit on his lower back, and I expend 15 points of lay on hands.
That put me back to max perfectly. So yeah.
Indeed.
Kind of heal him up a little bit.
Yeah, and
Venna's up.
I walk forward just behind here and end my turn.
I'm going to say roll a d20. If you roll a 1, a wild magic effect goes off.
for me?
Oh.
Calling on the... Yeah, for Gzane.
Okay.
Venna's up.
Well, this guy's still attacking, right? Still attacking him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do firebolt.
Roll it up.
Better not roll a 1.
Yeah.
Don't say it out
You roll 1,
loud.
you're going to hit an Arendelle, unfortunately.
Oh god. Okay. Well, he's healed now. But
Guys are doing great.
when I do this one, I just click the hit DC one.
Mm-hmm.
Arendelle the tank.
Please. If you jinxed it, it's your own. That's okay. It's not gonna be 1.
You guys are rolling good. Roll damage. I think it's 1d10 fire damage.
Fireball centered on you.
I said not to kill it. Pog says. Don't destroy it.
Destroying.
Well. Okay.
You
Minus
don't
10,
even have
roll
control over your own automaton.
Victoria's up. No, don't. It's worth a fortune.
Then command it to cease.
Venna rolls a d20 to see if a wild magic effect goes off. She rolls a 1 or a 2. Wild magic goes off.
Is a regular 20?
Yep, d20. In the lower left-hand side.
Oh, I forgot to click everyone. Sorry.
It's all good. Victoria's up. I'm just assuming it's not rolled, and I go to the next person's turn because it takes forever for the dice to roll.
I know, it's so dumb.
I'd like to walk up and make a shove attack. I want to push the golem away from Arendelle, so I can't quite get my mini right, but I'd like to shove him backwards.
Yeah, that's fine. We make opposing. It's a grapple check, so you make an athletics roll versus my acrobatics. This golem is not really strong, but it's very nimble. It resists it. It dodges out of the way a little bit as it sees you coming. It says target acquired.
Okay. I don't have much I can do here.
As you feel the gears begin to whirl around it a little bit.
Okay. That didn't work like I wanted to. I'm just gonna take the parasol and like open and close it a bit, like Sean Connery scaring the seagulls in Indiana Jones. Be like, bigger target, bigger target. That's all I do.
Yeah, you can also use your strength as an intimidation roll to try to do stuff like that, or to try to distract to give it a disadvantage on its next attack. Something like that.
Mainly I want to try to focus me instead of our wizard.
Karma's up.
Primal Savagery.
You want to run up and attack it with a melee attack?
Yeah.
Just bite his head off.
I'm gonna try to go for its jugular with my
Pog
claws.
says, I thought this was just supposed to be a one-on-one match. It's just a dueling robot. Karma's up. So he rolls at a melee attack roll.
Say 15 hit.
It doesn't hit. The AC of the creature is 16.
Damn.
It's pretty fast. It dodges out of the way a little bit, and it blocks it with some of its natural armor. So like just rotates its whole body around, right from its torso up. Golem's up, attacks Arundel twice again.
Damn, and even said target acquired against Victoria. Alright.
It attacks Arundel once with a dagger. Hits him with a 7 piercing. I hit you with a dirty 20.
Okay.
For 7 piercing. It attacks Victoria then with the other one.
Yep.
For a 22 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
For 8 piercing. Arendel's up.
I was gonna shout at the gnome like once again. If you do not wish it destroyed, command your automaton to cease!
Stop! He says. Stop right now! Number 3. Nothing happens. Arundel, what else do you want to do?
Could I...
I don't know what's wrong.
It's not what the spell says, but could I attempt to freeze the thing's joints with frost fingers?
Yeah, you just try to roll a ranged attack roll at disadvantage, right?
It's a save.
Oh,
Con
save?
save.
I just roll it with advantage, right?
Yeah.
I fail.
Alright. So I know it does. I know it does damage, but like you said, he doesn't want it destroyed. Could I just change the effect of the spell to where it just freezes it in place where it can't move?
Yeah, you begin to like point your fingers down, like hold it in place a little bit, right, and begin to do the damage that way. If you want to do non-lethal damage with saving throw spells, it's just a spell save +2, or I'm sorry,
Okay.
-2 to spell save DC, similar to attack rolls.
All right. So I'll just roll the damage, but it's non-lethal, as you said.
Yeah.
Ooh, 10 gold.
The golem seems to be freezing in place. The gears begin to lock up a little bit. It still has like this determination, this like Terminator-like determination still, Its eyes glow a little bit, and it says, "Must destroy."
That's it.
Cool. Gzane's up.
So the fight is pretty much over. I'm gonna turn to the golem, and I am gonna reach out my hand and shout, "Halt!" and expend a command spell.
Sure.
So
I need to make a wisdom save, correct?
Indeed, DC 13.
I pass a saving throw, but both Gzane and Arundel need to both roll d20s as they start to cast magic and high pass. Without the crystal being attuned, Victoria, with the archmages no longer able to control it, the wild magic of it begins to course throughout the whole area. Nobody rolls a natural 1 yet. Also, constructs are immune to the charm effect. It's no effect, even though it passes a save. Ven is up.
Oh.
So he's not attacking us anymore because he's partially frozen, or he's like you said,
No,
he's like really determined to get out of this.
Like from all the way up to the knees, you see it's frozen, but it's like, like the Terminator, it's just like coming at you. Kinda. You gotta drop this thing maybe. Or you have to figure out a way to stop
I'm going
it.
to do a spell. I'm going to bitch slap him.
Bitch slap of the mage, roll an unarmed attack, ranged attack roll against it. As you pull out one of Karma's homebrew spells of death. We're gonna say
I don't know. It doesn't tell me which way to roll on this one.
I'm gonna say it's a ranged spell attack, so you just roll a d20, which is your spell attack mod.
Just a regular d20?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably add like 5 to the roll or something like that.
I don't know. Let me see.
Cool, I like it. You just try to slap it. I'm gonna say it's non-lethal damage too. Kind of make it kind of cool. That's a hit. Roll a d4. D4 plus your dexterity mod. Right?
Doesn't that insta-kill
Plus
at
1?
level 20?
No, at level 20 it does apparently. But it just like randomly slaps someone in the whole world or something. It's kind of weird.
Trying to like shake him up out of his little. Wake up! Stop attacking us.
Whoosh.
So 3.
Yeah. So it's badly hurt. As you see this phantasmal like mage hand come across and like slap it, it looks over at Venna. Is that the end of your turn, Venna?
Yeah, I can't do anything else, right?
As you casted the previous spell, you rolled a 3, so you almost rolled a 2, right? You see this like the magic around it begin to like reverberate, the wind, like almost like a mirage, but it like reseals as magic. The air around you begins to crack. Now you need to roll a d20 again, right? If you roll a 2 or lower, wild magic surge goes off. Victoria's up.
And then I'd back after I slap though. I back up if I can.
Sure, I'll move you back here.
I'm gonna take
Preferably out of the range of 20 feet, centered on her.
Ooh, Venna rolls
No particular reason.
a 2. A wild magic effect goes off on her. Let me move her back into position.
Oh shit!
No,
Please don't be the
she
fireball.
had
Please don't be the
movement.
fireball.
She had movement.
Please.
She could have moved.
But you didn't do that first. That's a problem.
Please don't be
didn't
the
know.
fireball.
This
Yeah,
is where
but
it's
her
fun.
entire action happens within 6 seconds, so she should
How
have
does
been able
this
to
wild magic effect go off, Venna? It's the first one you've ever done being a wild magic sorcerer.
Don't even know what it is.
As long
I
as it
don't
isn't a
know.
1.
You feel like electrical crack. I rolled on my D300 wild magic effect. You see a bunch of sparks begin to go around you. The orcs are like, "Grr." It's like everyone within 30 feet, even the commoners are affected by this, all have vulnerability to lightning damage for 1 minute.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Karma's, sorry, Victoria's up.
What did you just do?
I don't know.
So the construct is vulnerable to lightning damage now, right?
It is.
Okay,
Okay.
so because narratively it's cool. As Venna's wild magic surge goes around, Victoria kind of feels that hit her back. So it comes up behind her, and her eyes go wide, and she's gonna go into a rage from that exposure, which will cause her to wild surge.
Yeah, and you rolled a 1 on it, right?
Yeah. Shadowy tendrils lash around you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet must succeed a Constitution saving throw. So I need the golem to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Makes it
I
with
like how you're
advantage, right?
about to brutally beat this thing to death and say, please make a con save.
It passes with an 18.
Okay.
High roller.
I also gain 1d12 temporary hit points.
Awesome.
So I'll roll that in a second.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna roll to hit it.
Please don't destroy it!
Oh, Victoria doesn't hear that. 21.
Yeah.
You smashed your maul down into it, Victoria. There's 4 HP left.
11.
You hear the gears just come to a halt as you dismember it and you smash it.
Yeah, she
Non-lethal, right?
takes
Wait,
the umbrella and
Oh, I'm sorry.
smashes the head in, and she's got these black shadowy tentacles reeling up behind her.
You hit your maul right into it, like as hard as you possibly can, and you see like the torso of it fall backwards, right, Victoria?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like its padded structure, the gears inside of it, and then you see it start to erect back up. It takes no damage. It's immune to bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god. Venna
Bummer!
goes the
That's
fuck?
As it's a thing. Also roll a d20 as you enter a wild magic surge.
Alright, look.
To see if you
Yeah,
roll a
my
natural one. Karma's up.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna run underneath Victoria and I'm just gonna slash at it again.
9.
Okay, you're right next to Victoria as you try to primal savagery it.
It's a 20 hit,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just going for the throat.
Guys have mostly done magical damage to it. -1 damage. It's badly hurt. You hear the acid splash through it, though. You see the other through some of its stitch padding that it has on it. Please, I beg you, don't. I'll roll a d20 and see if a wild magic surge goes off. The golem's up and attacks Arundel one more time with the dagger. Roll a 24 for 7 piercing damage onto Arundel. and then attacks Karma with the rapier. I roll a natural 20.
Hits.
Karma, you take 8 plus... you take 16 piercing damage, and you must make a DC 15 con save or take a stack of exhaustion. Arendelle's
For
up.
Karma, you said?
For Karma, that's correct. Arendelle's up.
Yes.
Alright. I'm going to...
Oh, exhaustion! How I've missed you.
I'm going to...
One stack.
I'm going to reveal my trump card as a dagger, as I flip my wrist and a dagger slips into my hand, and I raise, just kind of bring it into an upward strike into its gears to try to just kind of stop it. This is non-lethal.
For sure. -2 to hit then. Did you try to jam some of the
Doesn't
gears
hit,
in
then.
behind it?
Wouldn't have
doesn't
hit
hit.
either way.
Yeah, close though. I like the way you're thinking. Gzane is up.
What do you mean close?
So-
You said its AC was 16.
Be nice.
It's awesome, man.
Then I failed, yes.
No, it's awesome that you were almost about to stop it. Gzane's up.
Okay, so I'd like to retcon. I don't have my holy symbol, so when I just shout halt, I just realize nothing is happening. I don't have my stuff, and I just look at myself. It's gone, and I just move in and try and grapple its arms so it can't like attack the others.
Roll an athletics check. I roll a 7 to counter the roll.
Okay, 17.
So it's grappled. So its speed is now 0. Right.
Yeah, but I don't think it's restrained, so it can still
It's
attack,
not.
right?
So you'd have to use another attack to restrain it to actually change the way the grapple works, right? So that's how it works. So as you get more
Yeah.
attacks as a paladin or fighter, you could change the status of the grapple.
Okay, yes. I've only done this once, so.
It's okay. Ben is up.
All right. As Gzane's trying to hold this thing down, Venna realizes her magic isn't helping her very much, and she pulls out her crossbow. And she moves up to him, and so she doesn't miss. She might miss.
She's trying
But,
to not
she
miss.
gets-
You're just aiming real carefully, but like
Yeah, I'm
Victoria's
just, like,
there
right there.
with her umbrella, trying to whack him.
Yeah, and so she tries to try to see if she can pierce him with see if a weapon does better than her magic.
That is a hit. She doesn't declare non-lethal damage, so it does lethal damage to the robot.
Well, there goes all our effort.
It takes half damage from piercing damage, so it only takes 1 damage. It's still up. As the arrow sticks right into one of its padded, like, skin, part of its padded skin, I would say. It's just like a bunch of pads, like animated almost. A few gears inside of it. You didn't hit the gears, though.
I was aiming for.
You were trying, but you also didn't want to hit Arendelle in the back. Victoria's up.
Okay. Just for flavor, this would be a dagger, but could I try to make a dagger attack? But for the flair of it, can I try to use my umbrella to hit the crossbow bolt that's now sticking out of it, that Venna shot?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so dagger attack. Oh, 8.
Unfortunately, it doesn't hit.
Nope.
It almost like tries to parry, using its 2 hands. It's kind of like that robot in the Star Wars show, Mandalorian. It's like spinning around, fighting and like disarming it. At the same time. Karma's up.
I'm gonna go for my primal savagery attack again.
Gonna make it non-lethal?
Yeah, non-lethal.
Okay. So you roll with a -2 to the roll.
Ah, fuck
So-
this guy.
As you try to do a non-lethal damage, you try to like cut it in a way like it doesn't go right through the padding, and in doing so, it parries your block. It parries you out of the way, and it spins your claw that you materialize, and your hand goes back to normal, and you get cut almost a little bit as you like withdraw your hand back, as the acid kind of comes back into your fingertips. Golem's up again, attacks Arendelle again with the dagger.
Wait, I thought you said its AC was 16.
Yeah, but he had
Make
-2 to
-2
the
for
roll.
non-lethal.
Ah,
That's what I
damn
was
it!
describing. It misses Arendelle though, and then it attacks Gzane with the rapier, and misses Gzane. Wait, Gzane, what's your AC?
My AC is 11, I think.
I hit you with an 11. You take
Okay.
10 piercing as it turns around, like doesn't even look at Gzane, as it kind of senses Gzane there and stabs him with the rapier. Arendel's now up.
Non-lethal dagger. Hopefully this works. This absolutely does not work.
Natural 1. It counterattacks you with the dagger. It doesn't. It's unsuccessful in the counterattack. I roll a 9. Right? Because when an opponent rolls a natural 1 against a creature in melee combat, you provoke an attack of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Gzane is up.
So it's still grappled, right?
It's still speed. It's still grappled. It's still grappled with you. That's how it stabbed you.
I'd like to restrain it.
Okay, so now you make another athletics roll. A roll of 15 to counter the roll.
20!
So it's restrained as it falls prone. It struggles, so now all melee attacks against it are at advantage, right?
And I look behind me to the gnome and shout, "Get over here and fix this!"
Okay. As Gzane does that, he comes over and begins to do something, and the machine like swings at him like he can't control it. I'll have Victoria make the roll. It's like some type of tinker as he's using his tinker tools to try to reset it. Victoria rolls a 15 or higher. She gets a +3 to the roll on a d20.
Just a flat
Yeah, roll
d20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oop.
Kind of
Oh, it was almost a 3.
This
19
gnome
on the die.
successfully does it then. He like brings out his tinker tools. He like enters a key into the side of it. He's like, turn it over. The Gzane like turns it over as he's like wrestling it. He's got both of his hands like kind of like a wrestling move. I don't want to say it's like a full Nelson or something, right? Where your arms come up behind the neck, kind of thing. Under the armpits, behind the neck. And it comes up and he's like, make a little more space. And he like puts his little key in there. And he like, you hear it click and you see it whirl down. It's just like, just swinging its arms wildly. Arendelle like safely backs up a little bit as he's been cut a few times. Oh, there it goes, and it stops. As it's like laying down. He's like, "Now, wasn't that great?" He looks over at the orc and the hobgoblin. The hobgoblin orc look back at them and says, "Yeah, we could use something like that." What do you guys do?
I just back off and like tend to my wound.
As described, it's quite kindly. When he says cut, he means severely wounded, as in I'm in 2 HP.
Arendelle.
With a scratch.
Karma will walk over to you, Arendelle, and grab you, and I'll do manipulate life. I'll take a point of exhaustion, and I'll give you a D4 of healing.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, 1d4 healing for 1 level of exhaustion, that's still a bad trade.
You take 2 points of healing. But when you see Karma, you see a tuft of her hair sticking out of her hood, and you see there's feathers mixed in with it.
Alright. I turned this little gnome around and kind of used my staff to pin him up against the wall.
What are you doing?
You have caused me great pain this day. Now, how are you going to repay me?
I like what I see here, the orc says as you start to kind of get aggressive with them. I think it should be an eye for an eye kind of deal. He looks over at Arendelle. Do something.
Oh.
No, please.
I'm really not even paying attention to the orc. I'm still staring him in the eyes.
Sure.
How are you going to repay me?
I don't know. Thank you. Your skills of you and your friends are incredible.
I just kind of take my staff off his chest and just kind of get down on one knee and place my hand on his shoulder. I could kill you with a thought.
Please don't.
Give me a reason not to.
He like pulls down, back behind his pocket. He starts jingling through it. He pulls out like 3 copper pieces. He's like, here.
How did you afford to take your contraption and lead me back to your workshop?
My workshop? I don't have a workshop.
Where did you make these?
Where did you get them? York steps forward. What do you guys do?
I'm waiting for an answer.
York says, yes. What do you want to say, Karma?
I'm gonna lean over to Vina or whoever's closest to me. I guess it's Gzane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, what if Arendelle makes him give him one?
Give him what?
One of the other 2 that he's got left. Could be a helpful ally for us.
Yeah, but you can't put it under control.
Could be a good distraction.
Who's gonna carry it? I don't think it moves on its own unless activated like that.
Karma looks at you,
Oh no, you are not serious.
shrugs, limps away.
God damn it. Okay. Excuse me.
As the orc kind of is like next to him at you guys, he says, yes.
I think we will take the one that's broken.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just trash.
Sorry, what?
In fact, we'll take the other 2. He looks over at Arendelle.
Fine.
He takes his maul and like pushes up the gnome against the wall a little bit, and he says, "If I ever see you around here causing trouble, you'll be hanging on the walls." And he walks over and he's like, "Come over here, help me out with this one." And this other guy comes over here and starts helping him out, and they start to kind of gather up the 2 other ones. They're like, "This one's fucking heavy."
You never answered my question.
What? I'm sorry.
Where did you make them?
I didn't make them.
Where did you steal them?
I'd rather not say.
I'd rather you do say.
Make an intimidation roll.
Alright, that's a +1. Not a great roll.
I beat you by 1. I rolled an 8. Please don't. He starts to
On
like
to
kind of just
another question.
kind of like backs off a little bit as you kind of try to scare him and intimidate him. He tries to run away.
No. Just no. No running
You
away
want to
from
try to grapple him? You try to like reach out and grab him as he runs away?
Opportunity
No.
attack.
Yeah, actually, that was the one I was going for, what Gzane said.
Okay, so you're going to roll an athletics check to try to overpower him, right? That's kind of what Gzane just tried to do?
No, she said opportunity attack, and I'm going to take an opportunity attack.
Oh, you want to actually hit him?
Yes,
Okay, roll it up.
I'm going
His
to.
shins. Break his
I'm going-
kneecaps.
No, I'm gonna freeze his foot to the floor so he collapses.
Okay. roll a con save.
Frostbolt. Frostbolt.
Is it an attack roll or a saving throw?
It's an attack roll.
Roll it
Gonna
up.
bonk him.
So it's a ranged attack roll. You roll with disadvantage because you're shooting it right at him, or unless you're letting him like go away a little bit. You know, you let him like walk away a little bit, so you don't get disadvantage.
I mean, disadvantage or not, I just rolled a 10. Does it hit?
It does.
Oh, well then yeah, I'll let him walk away a little bit.
Okay, he walks away like this. Roll a d20 to see if wild magic surge goes off.
Oh gosh.
Sure.
Armor with that is like the greatest sight.
The icicle turns into a fireball. And he
Blows everyone
dies.
up. Roll damage or whatever.
Oh, yeah, sure. Can I just...
Incinerate.
I'm guessing I can't affect the damage roll, seeing as I've already hit him, but I prefer to not kill him.
Then if you do that, then you roll with a -2, right? So you miss him?
Nope, that hits. I'm fine with it. That's a 2. I'm sure he can take 2 damage.
He like takes a little bit of damage, and I'm going to say, what else does the rest of the party do? Is Arendelle shoots like an ice ray at him?
I just shot an icicle through his foot, pinning him to the floor.
You can't do called shots. You hit him in the back. You hit him in the ass as he runs away, as he's moving a little bit farther away.
Did the gnome?
I tried to declare that before I made the attack roll, and you said
Yes.
I could. That's why I attacked him.
Yeah, okay, so if you want to do non-lethal damage, you roll with a -2. So you miss him, he takes no damage. Because you rolled a 10. His AC is 10, -2, so it does no damage. I'm asking what the rest of the party wants to do is he moves 30 feet away. The other guys, these guys here have left with the other gnomes. These guys have already left. And the crowd has started to disperse already, right? But this guy moves 30 feet like this. What do you guys do?
Karma's mumbling to herself. Knocked you to the wall, dude.
I'm allowing everybody to do like a reaction or something, or we let the gnome escape.
Does the gnome leave the key in the golem?
He was kind of like in a rush, Gzane. That's a good point. I'll be a friendly guy. You roll a d20, and if you roll a 10 or higher, he does. Because he's kind of just flabbergasted, and kind of in a rush and leaving, right?
Okay.
Unfortunately, no, he did not. What do you do? Because I'm going to say he takes a dash action and runs around the corner, and he leaves. Unless we pursue him, or what do you guys want to do? Do we run after him, or do we leave him? Gzane, I see Gzane moving.
Yeah, I'm just moving 30 feet, but that's it.
Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not using the battle board anymore. What I'm trying to say is he's trying to run away, and it's just a roll of some kind that we do if you guys want to catch up to him again.
Venna doesn't really
Venna doesn't care. Yes.
doesn't care. She's in the background the whole time, just like, I don't know what they're doing with this guy.
The rat's not with anymore.
So we're striking people down in the street now.
I rejoined the party.
Herman's gonna cast Lesser Restoration on herself.
Now imagine if this was a fireball.
Yeah, roll a d20 to see if you cause a wild magic surge.
Yep.
It's the high pass crystal is not being controlled by any of the archmages.
Also, Venna, what was that?
16.
The wild magic?
Yeah. Wild magic?
Just another accident of my magical powers.
She has access to untamed magic, something that cannot be truly controlled.
Sometimes I think I'm doing one spell and it turns into another.
Is this something we should be worried about?
Absolutely.
I'm going to be in control of it.
Did it affect other people?
I've seen it kill a man, and every man in 30 feet of him before.
I too have seen some issues brought into the temple.
But now with
Curious?
me, it's going to be okay.
Of course.
No, then were we going to the tanner?
Yes.
Just leave that thing there.
That is the
Who needs
last
it
time
anyway?
I do something. That is the last time I do something helpful.
It was very nice. However, I would ask
dude.
now, does this make Arendelle the PogChamp?
Well, he lost, so he's the pog loser.
Oh no. Rubbing the salt into the wounds.
I'm starting to wish that thing could.
Oh, no,
Arundel's
you
blessed by one of
don't.
our viewers. Arundel rolls 2d4 temp HP. I'm sorry, 2d6 temp HP.
Okay. 8, 10.
So you gain aim temporary HP as someone's blessed you, as someone from high above has watched over you as you resisted the golem's attack. The pile of padding stitched together loosely, the gears through its back, kind of like a wind-up toy, is left in the street. You guys not take it with you?
Oh,
Does
how-
it?
I'm sure we can sell it.
I'm
Gzane?
keen to just leave it.
Is it organic at all?
No,
Or is
it's
it
an
all?
automaton.
Or is,
It's like you
Okay.
begin to touch it a little bit. It's like a lot of padding, right? It's kind of like one of those training dummies you'd find at the gym a little bit.
Can we
that
put
people
it
are,
in
like,
our
punching and kicking at you.
I'm gonna
We still
feel
have
its
our
anatomy,
dog?
then I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna walk
We-
away from it.
We still have our dog sled.
we have our dog
so-
in our cart, right? Stowed in the cart.
Yeah.
We'll put him
Gzane?
in the cot.
Put it in
What?
the cart, please.
Okay.
Come here, Moldman.
And I do so.
I'm going to sell this thing into
How heavy is it, by the way?
The dog barks and acknowledges as you guys load it up onto the sled. We knew that sled would come into use, guys. You guys throw the dummy on the sled, and you guys head off to the Tanners, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
You were doing fine until you started losing.
How observant.
I am curious, Arundel. What is it that you hope to gain from that?
You guys
You know,
peer
that
pressure
is a
them into doing
very-
it.
That was a very good question, and that was
Peer
a very
pressure.
good assumption.
I am above such things.
No, you're not. You could have stopped it. You could have prevented it.
I had a lapse of judgment. I allowed my peers to persuade me. This will not
Indeed.
be happening again.
Maybe I could persuade you to take a drink with me later.
I absolutely refuse.
I think
Fine.
it was
You're boring
not.
anyway.
Do not drink. I will not let such poison into my perfect body.
Perfect body, he says.
Yes, that is what I just said.
So
Yes,
spinkled
do.
and weak.
There are different terminologies for the word perfection. Oh,
perfect body.
perfectly in tune to my needs, yes.
I have a comment for it, but I don't want to say it.
That would be
Now, I will
wise.
probably agree if you dyed your hair another color than just white. It's not even white, it's gray.
Silver, you blind buffoon.
Silver.
I'm a godly woman. I must not say such blasphemy.
You are
Yes,
wise
wise.
beyond your years.
You guys arrive at the Tanners, and despite its, as you walk in, despite the bruising on his knuckles from wrapping them against the tan hides of the roughness of his palms, from handling preserving chemicals for curing, the cobbler's hands still retain their grace in their economical motion. In the time it takes you to blink twice, a nail is taken between its lips perfectly into the sole and hammered home with exquisite precision. As he sees you approach, he dumps the remaining hobnails into his pocket from his leather apron and favors you with a welcoming smile, his eyes dancing under half-moon spectacles. Hello?
Gzane, do your thing so we can.
Yes. Are you busy? I have something I would like done.
No, not really. What could I do?
Okay, so you're busy. Bye.
Okay. Gets back to work.
That's a joke, fool.
Oh, sorry.
You must not go out often. I apologize. I'd like to have this skin here and I lift it over and shows it off to him into a nice little backpack.
Oh, this is real nice.
It is.
Very nice.
Is there something you could do in a day's time?
Take me a couple days to work with it, yeah.
Couple of days, you
Not
say?
waiting here for more than a day. How much are you willing to buy it for?
Or
Mm.
he does the work and we pick it up the next time we're in town. I'm sure that we're going to be back.
Yeah, if you can trust him for that long.
I hope to God we're not back.
I could
Well,
do
in
it.
any case,
I could make it for you for free, but I need your help.
oh,
Well, you look like sellswords.
Oh, his wife.
What is your help that you require, sir?
Are you capable with that sword? Looks over at Benna and Gzane.
a sword, yes.
Proficient.
My wife a few days ago, she lost a trinket. It fell down the drain and she went into the sewers looking for it. But,
You are not about to ask me to go to the sewers.
yes.
My man, we just
Ah,
bore around a stinking skin for how many days? And now we're being asked to join the sewers all together. This is irony at its finest.
All together, you say? You can be funny.
Oh, you're coming.
No, I'm not.
You are coming. And I grab his
No,
arm.
I am not. I'll put my hand on your hand. Not grip. I can't really grip hard anyways. I just lay it on top of yours. Unhand me, ma'am.
How
I
can
release
I make
him.
it worth your... You want to go, or... He's like, all right. He gets up and he's like, she means everything to me.
Then why don't you go down there and save her?
Well, they say it's haunted. And
oh.
the darkness, they won't do anything to help.
Haunted by what?
I don't know. They say that there's voices and things down there.
We're going.
Perhaps, Arendelle, there's an agreement we can come to. We are in need of a certain item, you and I, that perhaps he can help us with.
What?
We still need a brass brazier.
Yes. Okay.
You need
How
money.
much time? How much time has she been gone?
Well, she went missing a couple days ago. She didn't come back, and it's so lonely without her, and I don't want to think about it. But
This is a human, right?
yeah, I linked his picture. He's kind of a gruffer individual, and he takes off his glasses, has like a beard, a brown beard.
Everyone, I do not want to alarm you, but I'm without magic for a couple of days until we pick up my rings.
That's to be expected from someone who, relinquished their source of magic. Yes. We were
You
all
had it
there.
coming.
About time you wised up and noticed that.
Much more than just a source of magic, but we'll talk about it later.
Oh, joy. Fine. I hope you know that she's most likely already dead, but if she is, we will retrieve her corpse and bring it back to you.
That is gruesome.
That is.
Have you
the
no
truth.
dignity?
I have several amounts of dignity, yes.
What is-
However, I am also very honest and straightforward.
If you were married to someone, would you bring back the corpse so they could see how decayed they are?
I would bring back the corpse so that I can know that my loved one is no longer with me, and I can.
Would you rather
properly
look at a
bury her.
decayed corpse to know it?
Both of you are not educated to talk on this subject.
Clearly.
We will take care of the body in a respectful manner, if it were to come to that, sir.
But let's think positively, and maybe she's fine. We just bring her back, and everything will be fine.
She's fine. She's just been gallivanting around the sewers for the past 2 days.
Shush it.
Well, at the very least, we have a little bit of time to kill. Gzane needs a bag. We need a cauldron. Seems like a solution for everybody.
Tana, if there is ghosts down there, I expect more payment than simply a bag. Is that understood?
All right, come here. He gets up out of his stool, like where he's hammering something. He's like, I don't expect you to work for free. I'll build the bag for you. Like I said, it'll just take a couple days of time, but he goes over to a chest and unlocks it, and you see like an assortment of coins in there. And he's like, this is my life savings. And I wanted to retire with my wife eventually, but we hid it from Aghell's men. The taxes are too high now. But I will give it to you if you can bring her back.
Keep it until we return.
I heard his assistant is lovely.
Do you know where she was last seen? At least where she entered? Something?
She was always kind of doing stuff on her own, you know? You know, I hate that about her in a way too, but now that she's gone, I just miss her.
Do you at least know where the sewers are, where we can access them?
There's drains everywhere. But I'm sure it was maybe somewhere close, but maybe someone else saw her, and you can ask around a little bit if you want.
Will we get in trouble for going into the drains, or is it public access?
That's the thing about these the darkness, man. They don't care about us at all. That's why they're not looking for her, because it's just one more dead person for them, I guess.
Do we have a picture of your wife?
No, she's got brown hair. We didn't want to waste our money in getting those etchings like the rich people do. He looks over at Victoria.
Mm.
She's got brown hair.
I'm the richest one in the party.
She's got the widow's eyes, but she had this pendant. It's in the symbol of Komis. We believe in. It was my pendant that I gave to her. I gave her the one of Komita, and she gave me the one of Komis.
We'll bring it back. Don't
Let
worry.
me see your pendant.
He takes the pendant out. You wanted me to show you the symbol?
No, I just want him to give it to me. I hold my hand out.
He just shows you the pendant. He's like, I don't want to give this away.
I'm not taking it. She will want to know for proof if we are truly searching for her to bring her back to you, correct? This will be proof.
All right. He takes the pendant off.
This will be returned to you one way or another.
The symbol looks like this. That he takes off.
Oh, okay. Ooh, pretty.
Oh, it's cool.
All right. I'm not gonna put it on my neck, so I'll just put it into my satchel and hold it there for now. All right.
I trust you.
I just turned to.
Don't be a thief. You can't find her. Bring it back.
As if I'd stoop to such a level.
It's the only thing I have left, of hers.
Turn to the rest of the party. When shall we set out to this wondrous adventure?
Do you have any idea where she might have started her journey at the very least? Or where she dropped? You said she dropped it in the sewer. Where'd she drop it?
Yeah, maybe that's where she popped in.
You tell people that, the last moment you see them and you hope it'll be a good memory. I'd like to tell you that about her. She was pissed. She dropped it into the sink, and she got mad and left.
Then we shall start in the sewer grate nearest to your house. Alright. Do you know where it is?
There's
The
drains.
nearest grate.
There's drains everywhere. I'm sure you could start somewhere.
I have a. What kind of plumbing does this house have?
Yeah, do they have indoor sinks?
It's like probably like Roman technology if you want to get like technical about it.
Oh,
It
I
goes
was just
into
wondering if it could have got stuck just in the sink.
You want to go take a look in the sink and just see if it got stuck, Venna? Roll a d20.
Yeah.
If you roll a natural 20 that's in the sink.
Sorry, I gotta pop it up.
Oh my god.
While Vena's searching the sink, Karma's gonna lean into Arendelle. Perhaps we should start looking tomorrow once we're all rested up. That machine beat the shit out of all of us.
I just turned towards her. All of us.
I'm not feeling great.
I peer at myself, my open wound. I'm fine.
I wouldn't mind resting in an actual bed.
So then tomorrow we're picking up a ring and then going to the
Yes.
sewers.
Yes, we'll go to the sewers tomorrow.
You seem absolutely chipper about going to the sewers, Victoria.
More of his discomfort.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not
I'm on
excited
board.
about this.
I'm on board
But
then.
the opportunity to reunite a loving couple and Arendelle hating every step of it and tarnishing his perfect body just elates me.
So it's mostly Arendelle getting dirty.
The perfect
You-
body. How could I
you
forget?
Cannot deny, Venna, that there is some joy in that.
I am so glad to have run into you in my infinite years.
And you will remember us forever into eternity.
I could actually quite easily forget you with the simple spell, but we will ignore that for now.
Except for Venna, she'll literally be with you forever.
Yes, except
Right by your
Venna,
side.
unless she explodes herself.
Well, you'll be next to me when I do it.
I
Aww.
cannot wait for that day.
Speaking of that, we still need to think of a name. It's been asked of us multiple times.
Before.
And
It
since
should
we were
be-
actually staying together now, I thought we would be done once we got to Corin's place.
Perhaps
But
we think of this once we get to the inn, in less of a public setting.
Oh, you're right.
I'd like to discuss it over a couple of drinks.
I agree. To the end then.
Tell you
Hey,
how
guys.
it messed with Akel too.
This inn, but I have tea.
You guys head to a place called the Come On Inn. The Come On
No,
Inn.
what?
Is this guy dyslexic?
Is this this entire establishment a pun?
All drinks.
Oh. So that's what feeling a vein bulge in my brain feels like. I see. No, that's an aneurysm. Okay, never mind.
You need more healing.
I just need sleep.
For me, I'm out of spell slots, brother.
I still have a few.
You guys come in here. It's an assortment of different people from all walks of life that in here. And you guys order up some drinks, and you guys are sitting around the table having some mead. Or whatever your favorite drink of choice is. What does Victoria drink?
I think she'll just drink whatever everyone else is drinking right now.
Karma, what
I'd
does
probably
Karma
have
drink?
something spiced, so something a little more hot.
Oh, that
Some
sounds-
fresh spices in from Husad to keep you kind of warm. Kind of like some hot cocoa, maybe, right?
I'd like a black tea with a dab of honey. Mind.
Karma orders an ethereal wine.
Awesome. What does it taste like, Karma?
It tastes like if someone were to go to the ethereal plane and take cherries and ferment them and bring them back to the physical plane. And
and put them in drink.
I
does
would
it
have
look
just said it
like?
tasted like crayons.
It is a violet colored drink that is shifting into a kind of a purpley color.
Vena
Ben.
just likes her bourbon.
I don't mean to sound dyslexic, but aren't those the same color?
No. They're different.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I just want to make
Trust
sure.
me.
I want to make sure. I didn't want to be stupid.
I
do you guys
don't
do?
really know. So Karma's gonna tell them the story. Sorry. So listen, she's gonna be in a hushed tone. I
Please don't ruin
pretended
my treat.
to be Aghel's right hand man. Okay, and I got all the way up to the defender, all the way up there, and they caught me. Right, I did not do a good job, because I got his name wrong, and they threw me in the fight pits. And little this happened. I had to kill some slaves.
You fought multiple slaves without us in
I
15
did.
minutes time.
I did. I won. And I wanted to get those bodies off the wall because it's just so disrespectful. And I tried to convince them, but I got past the guards. I got into the arena. I had to pay to get into the arena. And I got past the orcs. They took all my gold. And I got all the way up to the commander. I forget what his name was, but he was an ugly son of a bitch. And yeah.
Oh, I would love to pay to see that.
What was that? That's why I'm wearing this. They're probably looking for me.
No, I'm sorry, Karma. You were telling everybody this or just Gzane?
Everybody does. Like,
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
like leaning
Well, then
into the
I
table.
raise up my bourbon and I go, well, cheers to Karma's victory.
I reach out and put a hand on Vena's cup and put it down. We don't promote underage drinking here. And then
She's older than
smug
everyone at this.
grin to everyone else.
She's older than everyone at this table except myself.
True.
Her body's so much more developed than yours.
Who are you referencing?
What?
I'm a young.
I just
old
say
lady.
as I don't break eye contact.
Are you talking about me, Arendelle?
I never said someone's name actually, so that's up to interpretation.
I don't doubt I'm older than all of you, but still.
Prove it.
How old are you?
Hold on, I actually forgot his age. He is okay. Few weeks and it'll be 120.
Okay, so you are older than me.
Of course I am.
How old are you, Karma?
It's a rude question to ask a lady.
It is, but she explicitly called out you, so now I'm quite curious.
Oh,
I'm almost 100.
congratulations,
human?
Congratulations on surpassing your species' general death rate.
Arendelle,
You are human, aren't you?
What? That was a compliment.
No, Karma, you are human. 100 years.
Karma's gonna look around the tavern.
Typically, humans don't have feathers in their hair.
Not
What are you talking about
necessarily.
feathers?
I'm
No,
not
that's-
human, no.
That's
Not
for her
human.
to discuss, not me.
oh,
Elf, perhaps?
No,
You're
How
too
dare
smart
you.
to be a dwarf or anything else.
I'm an Asima.
Asimar. I've never stumbled upon one of you kind before.
Oh,
like,
God, not expect everything.
like an angel?
Yeah.
Aren't angels supposed to have wings?
Don't
Some
make me
of
choke
us-
on my tea.
Some of us have other abilities. My brother and sister both have wings. I don't.
Curious.
Unfortunate.
Not unfortunate. I've been blessed with other abilities.
No doubt.
Hmm.
This might be a bit of a personal question, but I simply must sate my curiosity. Are you fallen?
No.
What does fallen mean?
If you know, you know. If you don't need to.
Oh, but come on! We're talking here. I'd like to
That's it.
know.
Ask.
That is for her to discuss, not me. If she's
Fallen
comfortable.
means you've a fall from grace, essentially. I'm not.
Oh, I see. Ah, yes, you're quite devoted to your patron.
I'm quite the
Unlike you.
opposite. I'm more of a redeemer.
Curious?
What do you mean?
I like to purge the unholy.
Are you sure you're a cleric?
Of course I am.
It's very paladin speak of you. Say as I just glance at Gzane.
Paladins wish they could have my power.
Oh, no doubt.
What a power's
Adol.
worth if you can't use them.
Adon's will is a delicate balance that must be walked on very delicately. It's a tightrope. One
Good
misstep
thing
and it all
is-
comes tumbling down.
Are you more attuned with death than life in that regard?
No. I like to think of myself as a perfect in between.
So.
I don't know what to make of that.
Make of it what you wish.
So I will.
Who's next on this roundabout table of interesting backstories?
I want to know more about Venna.
I do as well.
What's the Feywild like?
This
What's the
wild
what?
magic.
Oh, I've only been to the Feywild for a day.
You've been to the Feywild.
You've been to the Feywild.
Oh yes, it was kind of weird. We walked into this basement here with a couple of other mercenaries. It was like a portal in the basement. We went inside for a day, and we walked a road to another portal. It was kind of dark. Everything was gray, kind of misty. And then we came back in the same place that we came out of, but a month had passed. It was so bizarre.
I just like to imagine Arundel and Karma just exchange sideways glances like, what the fuck?
So you made a wrong turn.
That's
we definitely
And
did.
then the Feywild.
that is an understatement. You said gray?
Gray and misty. And
How are you alive right now?
what are you talking about?
You went from the Feywild to the Shadowfell back to the material. How are you alive?
Shadowfell, what a joke.
I don't know. I just walked.
Yep.
I just sipped awkwardly.
So, Venna,
Yes.
I guess what is your interesting backstory? Gzane is honestly, I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of what Gzane is.
Fair.
What about you?
I don't think there's much. I mean, I don't have anything interesting. I'm not an interesting person or interesting elf.
Well, that's a lie. You're quite interesting, in my opinion.
It's
Don't
true.
mind prying. What happened to your homeland? You've mentioned it a few times, but what happened to it?
It was attacked. I can't remember by what creatures attacked our lands. I just remember the attack. I think it was so insane. It was so insane that I didn't even get to realize who my attackers were. Watching your parents die really will just make you just go in a rage.
At least I didn't see you die. At least I didn't see you die.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
At least I didn't see you die.
Well, I watched them parish, but unfortunately, my siblings didn't have the same luck as me getting away.
Venna, you start to like ponder about like the struggle of like life and death, I guess, and
Mhm.
it kind of fitting as your eyes drift over to a nearby table where you see two kids arm wrestling. But you see on the table, Venna, like they must be like wagering something, right? As usually people put something in the center between, the two arm wrestling things, the two hands, as they start to go back and forth with the grip, these two kids. By kids, I must mean they're like 15, 16, 17 years old, old enough to be born during the beginning of the Great War, but not old enough to be a fighting man. But does that look like an eel that they're fighting over? The eel has an eye on it. It's something like weird, like some type of something crazy that they're fighting over. But it catches your eye. It's purple.
I stop in the middle of my sentence of my story and look over and.
Are you
What
okay,
is
Venna?
I just
Are you having a moment? We can be quiet if you need one.
I just look over at the table over there. Do you guys see what's in the center? Not everybody at once. Not everybody at once.
Sorry. This looks just like two children. What are you referencing?
What about
Two
it?
barbarians.
Do you see what's in the center of the table?
Everyone
Yes,
can
some
make a history or arcana roll to see what they're wrestling over. Like,
arcana,
wrestling over.
please.
History.
I have a
Oh,
+6 in arcana.
Ooh,
Yes, my
I'm
brain,
wearing
it
one.
must be put to good use, please. Yes!
13.
23.
23.
So stuff like this, like a body part, is 10 plus the DC of the creature. Arendelle just makes it. It's a 23 DC.
Yes.
To actually identify it, but Victoria would probably be able to recognize it too, right? As she has read a lot of books back in the Citadel before it was destroyed. This is Arendelle. This thing is unspeakable. How did these kids get this?
It's a beholder
is-
eye stalk.
Exactly.
Oh my fucking god. Arendelle is mid-sip whenever it's...
Oh, are you good? And I reach over and like pat him on the back. Do you require healing?
I win! One kid
Doctor's
says.
out for the day.
I require medication for my headache.
Yo,
It's mine. He like lifts it up and he starts like flinging it around. It just flings like this eel, like dead eel with the eye stalk, on it. He just like flings it around.
While Gzane is next to me, you are quite strong, yes?
I am.
Beat him in an arm wrestle.
Be what?
Beat him in an arm wrestling competition.
He's just a child, Arendelle.
I can't
No,
do
you're right.
that.
You're right,
It's
you're
unfair.
right. Children like money, yes?
Not
I bet they like money. I'll be right
necessarily.
back. I'll be right back. I
What
just stand up and walk over to him.
Arendelle!
Concerned about what he just said and what he's going to do.
Is he gonna try to buy a child?
I think he's going to buy a child.
I think he's gonna buy a
Is he
child.
gonna buy a child or is he gonna buy the eel?
Oh, I hope the eel.
What was that
Slavery is
reaction?
legal.
What is he doing?
I love the fact that they immediately go to, oh god, he's going to buy a child. Oh, beautiful.
Lure them in. Come here, kitties.
So I approached
When
the
did we
child.
park the van?
I approached
No.
the child like that one meme. Casually approached the child.
Like
Hello,
they
my
look at this
fellow
they look
kids.
at this elf approaches, and they say, "What do you want?"
I
have this
want
white
to-
van.
No, no. I wish to make a trade for that fascinating. What is that? An eel? What is that?
I don't know. We got it from someone. The other kid like kind of circles around you a little bit, Arendelle.
I see. I'm gonna keep not entirely focused on the kid behind me, but I'm gonna make sure that he's not gonna try to nick my pocket. And
Sure.
by that, I mean I have my hand on my purse right now. No,
For sure.
I'd like to make a trade for that.
And as
Because
soon
it
as you
looks
say
very
that, you see the other kid. You see his hand like come up and like touches yours a little bit, but then you look back at him. He looks back at you. You know.
Now, I was going to make a trade, but now I'm going to make a deal. I'm going to let this slide, and you are going to give me that.
Give you this?
Yes.
No. They like both laugh at you a little bit.
I flick my thumb, and a platinum piece comes in between two of my fingers.
Like kind of like Ledgerman it a little bit, like a David Copperfield type of thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you get that?
I earned it.
Okay.
Now, do you want to earn this for a fair trade?
He like leaps. He like kind of like jumps up and like tries to snatch it out of your hand.
Do we hear? Do we hear?
I'm
them at
obviously
all?
taller than him, so I just hold it above him. Same time.
You want this dead piece of meat? We just found it off somebody.
I am a researcher. I want to discover what is unknown. Yes, I want the dead piece of meat.
Yeah, he looks at the other kid. He's like, "Well, if he has one, he's got to have two.
I produce another one.
One for each of us."
Yes, one for each of you, if that's what you wish. That's a fair trade. Do we have a deal?
Yeah, sure. Like
Give
they
me
seem a
that.
little distracted as they're kind of like looking back and forth at one another, and they give you this like kind of like eel eye stalk looking like rubbery thing. I don't want to say the other word of it, but it's kind of funny, you know.
I drop.
Children's
Objects.
haggle.
I place a coin into each of their hands. I'll get out of here.
And you're kind of like being careful, and they're like, yeah, let's get out of here, and they just both run out real quick, kind of like quick. Arendelle, check your Arendelle like looks back at his pocket though as he checks it. I make a in secret. I roll a sleight of hand versus your perception.
Ruh-roh.
You have to roll a d20. That's how many other coins you're missing.
I thought this was a perception check.
I already rolled it in secret.
Oh, well.
You're passive.
I mean, wait, I had my hand on it. What do you mean?
Yeah, as you were handing the coins to them though, and you were a little distracted, they made another pass at you.
All right, well, I rolled a d20, and that was a 3.
So they take 3 more coins. You get to decide which coins they take.
They take 3 of my copper coins.
Yes, they take 3 copper coins. And they run off.
Oh, damn, they made off with 2 platinum and 3 copper.
I will have you roll it. Roll the beholder eye chart to determine which random beholder eye this is.
That's a d8, right?
Let me take a look. Random table.
That's so cool, though.
This is going to be my new wand, Phyllis.
I don't know what. I don't even know what
It is actually just a rubbery thing, so you're just gonna like throw.
You're just gonna be waving around your little one-eyed snake hand, man.
I just run over. I
This is
run
from
back over to you.
Steve. This is from Steve, by the way. He made a random encounter, and this is the random encounter I rolled up.
Cool.
So you roll a d10.
Oh, a d10.
Yeah.
All right.
This determines
That's one
which
man.
random eye stock that you get.
Number 7.
The eye stock has 1 charge left. It's a beholder sleep ray.
I missed what this eel even is.
I linked a picture of it, Venna. You see like the above the horse where Carmen linked it there for a second. A beholder is like this aberrational creature which has tentacles for eyes, including a giant eye and a mouth. It's like one of these iconic creatures in D&D. So somehow these kids, for whatever reason, got one of these eye stalks. It's like a big rubbery, eel-looking thing with an eye stalk at the end. Arendelle, if you point this eye stalk at somebody, you can cast a sleep ray ability on them.
Okay.
You just see Arendelle. This is in my head. Arendelle just kind of runs over to y'all, all gleeful, like a child waving around. It's a flaccid penis.
Yeah.
Oh my Oh my god, he can smile.
It's like the gift that Karma posted.
But nah, I walk back over to the table and I open up my coat, put it back in there. I'll just sit down, and I simply resume drinking my tea.
As he's running over
Gzane, make an insight roll though before Victoria says something. As Arendelle
Oh,
seems to be
okay.
hoarding all the magical items.
Okay. 20?
I mean, I paid
mean,
for it, so.
Gzane, like you are a,
party money.
you know, kind of a tactical person in a way, Gzane.
Funny.
And, you know, Arendelle's hoarding all the magical items, and you saw how he almost got dropped by a training dummy. You know, this could be bad if he gets dropped in a real fight. And he has all the magical items on him, and nobody else has anything. Right?
So, what are you gonna use that thing there? Why did you buy that?
You don't know what it is.
No, and I don't want to know.
Then you don't.
And
need
it's
to
probably
know.
some dirty fantasy you have.
I assure you, whatever twisted cacophony you just put in that little blank head of yours is quite far from the actual truth of the matter.
I don't know.
So
I
much
think
you nearly drowned yourself in a cup of tea for it.
Yes, because I recognize its usefulness, unlike you.
Ooh.
What? Do you want it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Very well then.
I would just think you should get rid of it.
No.
Well, what is it?
Oh, well, since you so kindly asked. This is a ice stalk from the aberration known commonly as a beholder.
I've only heard of such a name in passing.
If you need a description that is easy for yourself to understand, a giant floating mouth with big eye and 8 tentacles, with smaller eyes on said tentacles.
Do you think of me dumb?
Yes.
Could you say that any more casually while sipping tea?
Quite honestly, no. I mean, that's as casual as I can get.
How did they get one? How did they get that?
I
Where do those
don't
children
know.
come up with it from?
They said they found it off a body.
Children are monsters. What do you
Oh,
mean?
yes. Absolutely.
Did they say where or what kind of
No.
body or who had it?
I didn't probe. I just bought. It's going to be quite useful, I assure you.
That I believe. Are we concerned that there's a potential beholder lair?
Oh,
somewhere
goodness,
within...
no.
No, we're not.
No. This beholder is quite dead.
I've heard nothing positive about beholders.
Oh, that's because there's nothing positive about them. They're kleptomaniacs, and they're quite honestly too powerful for their own good.
And not generally from around here.
No.
Thank you for your input, Arendelle.
You're welcome. Probably got it
Well-
off the corpse of a poor adventurer who got it or two out of his own hands.
Pants or hands?
Hands.
Oh, God, no.
I don't know your metaphors or idioms.
I'm usually wrong.
I'm sorry, was there a problem with me getting this?
Yes.
What's
it for?
What's the issue? I just... Oh dear. Alright. This eye stalk, from what I was able to glean off of it, can put someone to sleep for a very long time.
Permanently?
No! Maybe. I'd actually like to test it out sometime, but that requires research, and research requires silence and privacy, so I will do that on my own time.
And a target, right?
I'm gonna look over towards Venna and Victoria.
I'm just going to take a sip of my tea as a response.
This is Victoria right here. Just
Mm-hmm.
Do you
that was
remember
on the wall.
our earlier conversation?
Arendelle, you're a lot more terrifying than you make out to be.
Oh, am I? I try not to be. I'm quite civil. And
I kind of get the
agree.
hint that Karma wants to talk to me and Victoria. So hey, do you guys want to go with me to get another drink?
Of course.
Let's not hear any more
Would you
dialogues.
mind telling them I'd like a little bit of extra honey in my mint?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Thank you.
Give me a gold coin.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
I mean, whatever's more expensive. Platinum.
I'm just gonna stare at Arendelle across the table as we were just left alone.
It's just that 5 seconds of silence as they're walking away, and it's just us like, what nice young ladies.
I hate you.
I don't understand why you hate me, but to each their own, I suppose.
All right, Karma. I could tell you.
That could put someone to sleep for a very long time, he says.
It could, yes.
Gzane's master?
Mm?
Plus fire? Plus asleep?
Those are all coming together nicely.
Plus a very convenient accident.
But I don't know if usually you wake up when, things hurt.
What if he is already in a burning building before he wakes up?
Smoke.
Innovation.
We can make this work.
Now, when this thing puts people to sleep, they can wake up just by having pain. It cuts it off.
Maybe.
Well,
Or you just sleep through it.
I know that the sleep spell, I haven't quite mastered it, but it's supposed to generally puts you to sleep. But if something touches you or rouses you, then you end up waking up. So I'm
What
afraid
if-
yes,
What if one of us convinces him to get in the bath, right? Then we put him to sleep, and then I make him go deaf or something.
I feel
Who's
like
gonna
Take away
convince him to get
another
into
one
the
of
bath? Are you holding this thing in your hand and wiggling it around to get into the bath?
I mean,
No, this is a group effort.
All three of us are going to be in a room with this man and say, "Get into the bath."
Slap him with the flaccid eye stalk.
just into a bath. Then if we convince him to get into a bath and put him to sleep, would it be easier just to drown him?
Oh, we could do that too. Nothing is
Just
out
do that.
of
I feel like
nothing is
that's
out
a
of the-
lot easier.
I'm just spitballing ideas here, but now we have this eel of power.
I mean, we also
I feel like Victoria, you're the one to convince Arendelle to hand over the penis thing.
The wand of
I don't know what it's called.
plasticity.
I don't know.
Let
if
it be known, Venna was the one who said the word first.
I don't know if we're going to be able to convince him to part with it. He seems to like it very much.
No,
That's true.
let me take care of that. Listen.
Oh yes, I very much like my flaccid eyes.
Arendelle has to
He
go to
did-
sleep at some point in time.
He
Okay.
did ask for alone time with it.
He was also pretty evasive when Gzane was
He's
asking
a
him
damn
about
elf. He
his
doesn't have to
life.
sleep.
I don't think so.
Oh, true. Well,
Perhaps
go
if
in
we
some
get him
trance?
arguing with Gzane.
doesn't
to
he go in
get-
a trance though, or something?
No,
Sure,
but
no.
he's still aware of his surroundings, I'm sure.
Are we already having
Alright.
PvP? Are we gonna steal from each other?
Well, perhaps if we get him and Gzane arguing, we can distract him long enough to swipe the penis thing.
You already devised a plan to steal it, and you haven't even thought of asking first.
Yeah, let's just have Victoria try first. If that doesn't work,
Oh my god.
The greatest party ever.
Are we going to tell him? Well, okay. Here's my concern. If we ask him for it, he's going to ask us why. Do we lie to him or do we not? Because I'm a little concerned that he's going to fly off the handle and really burn the house down. He doesn't care about loss of life. I don't really want-
Gzane can't be around.
I do not think Gzane could be around because I don't know if she might be forced to say something.
do you think maybe you could just tell Arendelle that you want to hold on to it to keep the peace between Gzane and Arendelle, and you're just gonna hold on to it for safekeeping, but you're not gonna do anything with it?
He's going to be so angry when we do use it and it doesn't work anymore.
True.
So
No. Then we can blame it on the children. Children used it. They didn't know they did.
also, do we really,
I'm not
do we
above blaming kids. Adon says
Condi-
nothing in her code of conduct about blaming children.
Yes, condemn
True.
the entire population of this planet's children to death.
Children
do we
just
really, do we
suck.
really need to? Because if our only plan is to just, I think, do we need to put him to sleep?
No, I suppose not. I suppose we could just drown the little fucker.
Is it a one-time use item?
Neutral good, by the way.
It has 1 charge left.
Neutral,
Oh.
True neutral.
I don't think
Okay.
it's that hard to convince him to get into a bath.
Lawful neutral versus true neutral.
Well, see, to convince someone to get into the bath, that would. I mean,
3 ladies come up to you and tell you to get into a bath. They're gonna get into the bath.
mhm.
Unless
It
they're
might
gay.
be the bourbon talking. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was already pretty inappropriate till 3 of us the first time we met. Oh wait, no, you two were talking to the goblins.
Mhm.
Still.
You just hear me shout from across the room. Is the tea ready yet?
They're steeping it.
Oh,
Ooh, I had a good idea that came to me not from chat.
Okay.
Does the
Not
man
from-
like to drink?
This who?
Sauce him up, get him into the bath.
He took a drink when we first met him. Yes.
Okay.
Huh?
He heard me. Oh no. Or she heard me.
Oh no. That was out of character.
Table talk, yeah. Because then if we could get him have a couple drinks with us, then get him into the bath, then get him to sleep, then Karma drowns him.
Oh, and then
So
he
I
was
do the
saying-
drowning. Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
It could be a group effort. I mean,
Adon,
we
are
all
you
we
cool
all
with
have
that?
one hand, so we can all be fair.
Shouldn't
Look,
say no.
it's a girls' night out team building exercise.
I agree. I think this we're gonna be better for
Bring us
this
together.
And
It's gonna build synergy and trust in the workplace.
And it's
y'all
actually
come,
like
y'all come back, and it's just Arendelle and Gzane are beating each other to death.
If this works, we could change. We could have our group name be called.
The
Peace.
sirens.
Oh,
Two
I was
different
going. I
waves-
was
two
meant the
different
sirens. I meant the
wavelengths.
sirens. That's
Silent
what
treatment.
I meant
Silent
sirens
treatment.
also.
That's good.
Our name will be Bath Time. Okay,
Shower
G-
thoughts.
Shower thoughts. Thank you. Should we go back?
DM, how many
suppose.
blacksmiths are in the city?
Not many. Like, again, most of the trade is controlled by the Iron Links. So, like, anybody connected to it, why are you asking? You want to buy something from a blacksmith?
No.
Okay.
Was I'm wondering. So I'm trying to think, because are we just gonna pay this as an accident? Because then everyone just gets sold, and then what? I goes, we
No,
can
no,
buy
no, no.
Gzane cheaply, I suppose, potentially.
We released the slaves, right?
Do we know how to do
a-
that?
A slave without a master can't be owned.
But Gzane said that she suspects they'll just be sold to other, because they're not owned by him, they're owned by the guild.
So then the way I look at it, these slaves are going to be sold either way. If we can buy Gzane for cheap, it's better than buying Gzane for an exuberant amount of money. Once we own Gzane, we can just set Gzane free.
I just feel like this is gonna be extremely satisfying for all of us, but have really bad consequences in the long term.
While everyone is talking, I want to ask Arendelle, are you good with card games? I know you're smart.
Sorry, I lost my temper.
Not good at card games?
No, I prefer strategy. As I showed you and sounded.
I'm gonna
destroyed.
throw a teacup at Arendelle.
Thank you.
Alright.
Awesome.
Do we really want the eye stock?
Not enough for me.
Will it benefit us? If not, then no. But
I don't know. Our plan was pretty solid, but if you guys think that's not going to pan out, then we'll just go with the original one.
we need to address the other slaves though. Like I guess we could. I guess we could kill the owner to be like, we now own you all, and you're all now free. That's
True, 'cause-
something.
King's rules, right?
Yeah,
We
right?
own you all now, and not that other part. Just the
Mm.
we own you all now part.
Do you have any idea would that even work? Like,
Just to be able to free them.
I don't know if Victoria would know that.
A grateful slave
Uh,
is better than a resentful one.
Victoria has probably been hiding out in Windstrand, right? Or where
The
has it?
surrounding area. I don't know. Does she know how like the slave trade works? Like that whole ownership process?
I mean, you've
Staff.
probably seen the slave markets. Like there's, like there's ships and things being sold. There's a lot of slavery is being done. Mostly, make an investigation roll. I mean, you're in the bar. I guess you're kind of asking rumors about things. You know, asking questions a little bit.
I guess does she know how ownership transfer works? 16.
Been a lot of slaves. But the Iron Links are buying up anybody. It's not a free head. Rumors are people are being taken away at night.
Well, if I wish to purchase one for myself, how exactly would that work? How do I know that I don't buy someone and then I notice some of them have those control tattoos on their faces? How would I know that it's actually, actually gonna listen to me?
Well, that's why they use these rods. They
So is it
touch the
whoever
symbol
holds
on them and they point it at the slave if they disobey them, and it hurts real bad, from what I've heard.
So is it like, but what if, okay, so I have a rod, I have a slave, so then if someone steals my rod, do they also steal my slave?
I don't know. I wouldn't do that. Sounds weird. He's kind of like says to you.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's more, if I'm gonna spend all this money to find myself my own personal assistant, I want to make sure they're loyal, not gonna run away with their control rod.
Well, you just go down to the market and they'll brand them one for you. Usually about 200 gold or 300 gold.
And then the rod controls them, and that's it. So as long as I keep the rod.
Oh yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Is it control more than one slave, do you say?
As
Or is
Venna
it
kind of
just-
comes up, she like is eavesdropping and she like kind of comes
Yeah, I'm
behind
like,
Victoria a little
I
bit.
just pop up behind him like,
Oh, hey. Well, from what I understand, it's they get them marked the way you want them marked, and that's how it works. They use these branders. He starts to describe the branding tool that you sold.
Shit, I wish we still had that.
You wanted to rebrand them?
So
Great plan.
the rod controls the slave.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, nobody can control another man. It's just,
Influences.
yeah, you know.
There's our answer, Victoria.
mm-hmm.
All the slaves are being sent to Husad to build these pyramids for the Genie King, from what I understand.
Pyramids.
Genie King.
Yeah, he like puts a big pile of gold down on the table. He's like, I just sold 3 slaves myself. You want a drink?
Actually, I'm more curious. How exactly did you sell one? You just grab it and drag it down to the slave market, or did you have to put on one of those collars and then that's how it worked? How'd you do it?
Yeah.
So you need a collar and a brand, and then you can sell your own slave and make some coin?
Yeah.
Looks over at Arendelle. Shakes her head no for a moment.
Interesting.
His
it
ear
off.
just twitches.
Thank you. I'm gonna grab the ladies and pull them off to the side and just... I have an idea.
Okay.
We just need that collar and that rod that we had before. We know where one is. We just fucking sold it.
Yes.
What if we don't have to kill him?
We enslave him?
Fair game. It's 200 a head.
And we put him to sleep first. Victoria. I like it. I don't like it because there's no body, but I like it.
I
Are
like
there
it because
any-
there
are
is
there-
nobody.
Are there any good aligned members in this party? Question mark.
Technically, yes.
I'd rather I don't like the slavery portion of this, but I do like the non-killing.
I don't.
I like the irony of it.
I do as well. I hate slavery, and I promise you, Vanna, I would never put this upon anyone except someone as disgusting as Gordon.
Someone might call this a little bit of karma.
I don't even have to hear it. I visibly, my veins start bulging at the even mention of a pun in my vicinity.
He's allergic.
Yes.
We need to get that.
Are you good, Elf?
Something's wrong.
I think, Arendelle, if we leave him with Gzane for like another 5 more minutes, they'll be strangling each other.
We should go.
We could just swipe it then.
Oh,
All right.
I was more thinking of saving them, but you know.
Exactly 5 minutes pass. Gzane's just like, "Hey, want to strangle each other?" What? Jumps across the table.
I imagine, like, once we've been left alone for like a minute, I will just stand up. I've asked you about the card thing, and like, just pat you on the shoulder. As much fun as it is to just stare at each other all day, I want to do something.
It's
And I
not
try
like
and look around for another group at the tavern that might be having a game and wagering coin.
it's
Thank
not
God
like
I'm not
Gzane would say, "Hey, you want to strangle each other?" And then Arendelle goes, "Sure, let me empty my pockets first."
Sure, let me just leave my bag over. Sure, let me just leave my bag over here and leave it open so anybody can look in its contents and else particular.
Perhaps we tell Arendelle.
As of right now, if y'all are coming back over here, the eye stalk is hovering just above my currently floating book as I'm
He-
using
he
arcane
is-
sigils to.
He would be the best with it.
Oh, Gzane just left.
It's now or never.
I'd like to think the best of them. It's up to you guys.
Little Faith. He's malicious. Let's try it. I mean,
Well, is he going to? The thing is, right? They stop us mid walk. Like the thing is he going to let him live, or is he going to go for the death part of it?
We'll put my hand on Venna's back. Adon's will be done.
That was a yes or no question.
all right. Why don't you lead that conversation? I'm gonna keep an eye on Gzane, and if she ends up coming back towards us, I'll distract her. So,
Okay, I'll let
Good
Karma
luck.
do the talking.
all right, Karma, you got this.
Because I'm the most charismatic.
You're most
hi.
on the same level.
Hi, Arendelle. How are you?
Busy. How can I help you?
We need your help.
Oh dear. It must have taken a lot of willpower and biting of the tongue, as you people say.
Don't
to
forget
muster the-
Constitution.
Ah, yes, that as well. To muster the strength, I would imagine, would be the word for it, to come to me and ask, what do you want?
We want to set Gzane free.
We all do.
Okay. What does that have to do with me?
We want to flip the tables on Gzane's owner and claim praxis over Gzan's owner by enslaving them.
I assume you have a plan to get this into place.
Put them to sleep and collar and brand them.
How are you going to put them to sleep?
That's where your magic penis comes in.
It is a flaccid eye stalk and nothing more.
I've been lonely enough, Arendelle.
Do not say magic penis again.
You just said it, so
Canon, that is what this thing is called.
So, you have a plan for subduing and possibly enslaving the,
Seducing
Slave
and
owner.
enslaving, or
Sure.
whichever word you use.
So, plan
Sure.
works. let's say it works in this hypothetical situation. What are you going to do about his miniature army?
Miniature army, we're just gonna break in.
Or
You're just going to break in and sneak past his several dozen guards, get to his personal room, and seduce him, as you say, and then put him to sleep and then enslave him. And the guards are not supposed to see the collar and the marking, and that's what you're suggesting.
we don't really have to sneak all the way in. There are multiple ways to get into someone's bedchambers. Mainly one being invited.
How do you plan on getting invited into his bed? Oh,
We offer a bath.
Seduction.
oh no. Oh, never
It's
understood
called
this.
body language.
Good
We
thing
need to
I,
get you fitted for a dress.
Pardon?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Fair point, Anvil. Okay.
I was hoping that was gonna stay there. Actually,
Or
Even though that was a foolish idea, I would make any dress look fine as hell.
what are you, a size 2?
or else, as you have so graciously proclaimed, you are the perfect
Perfect
physique.
body.
We don't know which way he goes.
Nice and slim, I'm sure. What does your physique look like?
This is getting so personal.
Slim but fit. Slim but fit.
Oh, so toned.
Legs for days.
That is an option.
Bad one, but yes, an option. Do you have any other ideas, or was that your only one?
We're going to attempt to get into his bedchambers by whatever means possible. And then maybe you sneak in through like a window or
Unfortunately, I'm not the best climber.
a hole in the wall. Well, Victoria seems to know the layout of the.
Very well.
She can sure come up with something.
So you wish for me to sacrifice a very valuable arcane relic in exchange for a plan that might work that hasn't actually been completed yet. Am I correct in what I've just said?
Yes.
To save a friend.
Friend.
We also need those items that you sold back.
Yes, we're probably going to have to steal them back
What?
because I'm sure the upcharge is ridiculous.
You think he doesn't have his own?
We don't know where. I don't know if we should spend the time looking for them. And also, you sold those without talking to us first. It was a party fine.
Y'all didn't want them. Of
We don't
course
kn-
I sold them.
We were breaking in. We don't have time to look around and peruse the place. We need to become prepared. We have a plan here, Arendelle. Get on the same page.
Or just let us use it.
I'm
and-
trying to find the book that you're reading.
Unless you want to stay back, we'll sneak
Let me
in
plug 'em in.
and you
Fine.
distract Gzane. Make sure Gzane stays asleep.
When are you planning on doing this?
When Gzane falls asleep,
Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. How long have you been planning this?
Well, your team's done.
About 10 minutes. I'm just
That's
kidding.
not a good
Just kidding.
answer.
the best plans have action.
That was. Okay. Okay. I will agree to this plan. On one condition. I go with you.
What?
I go with you, or no ball.
Okay.
What?
He's going with us.
Us four?
Please tell me there was an actual plan and you were just joking before.
I'm gonna go find. Well, actually, we need to get those magical items back. I don't think we should go around finding it.
We need the brand and the collars first.
All right, who's getting those?
I will. I have the money that was used to sell them. And
We need.
I have the most money, so I can afford it.
I don't have good.
Victoria,
Mm.
you have the most style. I think you should get
Beg your
Vinna
pardon.
looking great for the potential target tonight.
Oh no, Vinna. You didn't
Vinna
have to-
is the most charismatic out of any. Look what she did to the goblin.
Well, of course
It was
she
bloody
is.
in her hands.
But still. Are you
We're
okay?
not saying she has to go through with it. She just has to.
No, she just has to
No?
distract him so we can. I mean, that
Just
was
have to look
aggressive.
the part. Don't have to do the part.
Exactly.
Your body.
All right.
What time is it at night? At night right now.
It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh gosh,
time.
we have a long day still.
Yeah, we got plenty of daylight to bed.
But then we do like a montage of shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty woman.
Just let you guys
Okay.
go with the flow with this.
We
So,
got the beat.
Now,
I'll just kind of.
there's
What do you want to say?
one
Erica?
more condition to this plan. If what's the term you people use? Shit hits the fan, he dies.
Is on?
No.
Oh gosh,
What? I like
Nothing.
just look back.
We said your face was horribly scarred and you couldn't get a mate whether or not you tried. Prove us wrong.
I don't have any damage to my face.
Actually,
You clearly haven't seen a mirror recently.
What?
you question Arundel's.
I just touched my face. Do I
Son.
look different?
I'm shouting out like across the tavern. Gzane, you question Arundel later about his midnight shenanigans. Do you have a preference?
A preference for what?
You know,
What did I just tell you?
I don't know what you're insinuating.
Oh dear.
Are you hot-blooded or cold-blooded?
Oh, I'm cold. That's why I wear furs.
okay, well, I had an idea of how to distract Gzane for an evening, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Bro.
Wasn't able to answer that properly.
How should we distract Gzane?
What
I'm
could we
I'm
use?
gotta hear this one.
Uh-huh. Give me the plan.
A lucrative lizard folk, perhaps.
Oh my gosh, is there anybody in this bar?
I don't know if Gzane does that though.
No, I feel like they're more of a punch me in the face as hard as you can to show your love type person.
What would be Gzane's version of Tinder?
Not Tinder. That was a joke. The joke it is.
Yes, no, I get it.
Gzane wanted to go to the fight pits earlier.
That's what I was thinking, but is that really how we want to solve? It gives him a very good alibi, actually.
I mean, I am a champion of the fight pits.
You killed 2 peasants.
I'm a champion, Arundel. How many peasants have you
They-
killed today?
They had
Today.
sticks.
What?
Actually, not a bad idea. If Gzane is at the fight pits, they will literally have nothing to do with this because they have a solid alibi. They're not even there. Everyone knows where they are.
Yeah.
We can enroll him in the fight pits. Just let him murder.
And then we wouldn't have to wait until he's sleeping to
Yeah.
do it all. We could do it sooner.
He can get up frustration. It would be great. They could do whatever they want.
Okay, so
It
maybe
is
Comma-
somewhat terrifying that y'all are able to just come up with this.
myself and Venna can go get clothes for the occasion. Karma, if you can get the branding and the collar. Arundel, you piss the shit out of Gzane so they want to go fight. You're the best at it.
Yes, you don't even have to try that hard, Arundel. It's easy for you.
I don't know what you mean. How am I going to make
You
someone
are
upset? I've
very
never done
good.
that.
You're
Pissing
doing
us off,
perfect,
Arundel.
Arundel. You're
Just
doing
have to talk
perfect.
to him.
Just
I've
go
never
to
have to
once
talk to
Gzane.
him.
made- I have never once made someone else.
Go. We like push him away.
We just talk about anything. Literally
Please be
anything.
careful. This is Saturn. Just get up and walk over to Gzane, I guess.
Okay, but I guess I've been left alone for like 5 minutes, so I should definitely have found something to do in the meantime.
Yeah, what do you want to do, Gzane?
I left to try and look around for anybody who's wagering money for like games or whatever.
Okay, sure. What kind of game you looking to play?
Either cards, darts, or arm wrestles, or maybe a drinking
Pirates
game.
Dice.
Those 4.
Liar's Dice. No, that's a pirate game. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you find a guy shooting some dice with like another guy. They're just like shooting some dice.
Oh,
back
dice.
And forth. Yeah.
Okay.
And they, as you step up to them, they say, "Yeah,
Are we having a game here for money?
yeah. You want to play?
Oh, definitely. I'll take the next turn.
Okay, sure. How much you want to wager?
How much are we willing to, what's the ceiling?
I don't know. Maybe.
Are we into gold territory or are we going with silver?
Well, have you played before?
I've not, but I'm eager to learn.
You want to bet a lot of money, but you don't know how to play?
We could start small with 5 silver.
Where's your master at?
He's at home. I'm out drinking with some buddies.
Oh, okay. Did they let you have gold?
Yes.
Really?
Actually, it's my friends over there.
So they're vouching for you now, huh?
They are.
We don't want no trouble. We're not going to play with you. You don't want to mess around with vouching and things like that. Either you got the gold or you don't.
I do have money.
Show us.
Fine. 5 gold pieces. I picked them out of my pockets and like showed them off. Is this enough for you?
They both look at each other and they're like a little weirded out by this. Like, he just said he's not supposed to have gold, though. Yeah, well, just whatever. And they take the gold from you. And you put it on the table.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, put it down.
The dog goes kind of crazy outdoors with the mechanical guy outside, right? You put it down on the table, they take it from you, and they're like, well, slave's not supposed to have money. They just take it, and they get up from their seats and says, what are you going to do about it?
Are you challenging me?
Slave will strike a free man?
I'd like to perceive how capable these guys would be in a fight.
I'd like to know how close I am at this point.
Well, I'm just talking, and you guys see Gzane over there. You guys are plotting behind Gzane's back, you know.
Oh, yeah,
This
you're
is
definitely
kinda
still
what's going on.
talking at this point.
Yeah, you guys are still kind of just hamming it up.
I mean, they just literally threw me over here, so I don't know when I'm showing up. It's up to you.
They seem like pretty okay. I mean, they seem like, you know, they're not really nice people, obviously, right? And they
Okay,
just,
so
they know, like, but they know the law to a certain degree. They know that, like, you know, slave isn't supposed to have money. You know, they know slave can't really protest anything they want to. So, like, you're kind of screwed in a way too, Gzane. What do you do? They said, let's get out of here. Let's go down to the street. Hey, there's a good place there called, like, the Half Tanker or something. They just start to leave.
I grab one of the elbows, like the guy who took my money, especially him.
Get your hand off me, slave.
I lean in real quick and
Yeah.
puff out a little bit of smoke. Are you sure you want to try that, buddy?
I suggest you get your hands off me before I start yelling at the top of my lungs. They throw you in the brig.
I just take my other hand and like pick him up by the neck and slam it down on the floor.
All right, and that's
Shut
where
him
we'll
up.
begin. I think that's where we'll begin next week, as a fucking fight, a brawl begins to happen in the bar.
Well, there's our distraction.
Sure, and you pick him up by the throat and you slam him down to the table. And then like everybody says, "Bar fight!" And just everybody goes, kind of goes crazy as chairs and things are being thrown at one another, and That's what we'll be getting next week, and I'll put out the bar fight and everything next week.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
sounds
hell no.
Oh hell no.
I like the
Solves
way you
itself,
guys are-
I suppose.
I think you guys are thinking awesome. I like how you guys are thinking about problem-solving stuff.
There's a lot of role playing going on.
Yeah,
I like how in their minds when they sent me over here to get her angry or something, they expect me to just like insult her or something. But now I'm just gonna go over here and whack her up the side of the head with my staff.
That's why we sent you. You know how to get straight to the point.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Because in Arendel's mind, he doesn't insult people. He just tells them the truth, and they just can't handle it.
Right.
you
Well,
can't
the-
handle the truth.
I just like how we're trying to figure out how can we keep Gzane entertained for an evening. Oh, there's a solution. She's just gonna go to jail. We know where she is. She has an alibi.
There we
Slaves don't
go.
to jail. You know, slaves don't go to jail.
That was a good thought. That was good thinking right there.
They go to the fight pits.
If they aren't just straight up executed, yes. I was expecting her to get right to that point about to fight him whenever I walked over here and
gosh.
said, "Are you walking away with my money?"
Oh, well, we could definitely retcon it to like just picking him up by the throat, and you come out with it at that exact moment.
yeah, exactly. You know,
I love
we'll-
that.
We'll pick it up. I was thinking actually you pick him up and slam him. Arendel's just like turns around and comes at you.
I do want to mention from your chat DM
Yes,
that I get an advantage.
that's right. You do. You have advantage on your next roll. Just remember that next week
And tell everybody why.
because you say penis.
As you say, penis.
Hey, whoever
You need to think about
saved-
how the Twitch viewers think, man. That's how they think. Guys.
whoever was out there that gave me that temporary HP, I appreciate that. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but maybe it'll come in handy at some point. So thank you.
I kind of
Especially
missed
since
it.
That was an
Right now.
awesome session.
They were trying to help you out during the fight because you were getting really low, and I just kind of missed it because I was tabbed over.
Yeah, that would have been nice earlier.
Yeah, this was very fun.
The problem is, Gzane is in a state of mind where she has nothing to lose, so she is not gonna hold back when somebody wants to fight her.
It's gonna be fun to listen to that fight.
Yeah.
Guys, I just need to point this out now. Wizard is utility caster. Please don't send Wizard into fight alone anymore.